Edinburgh is a city steeped in stories, from fascinating folklore to ancient myth. Just take a walk around the city and you'll find an abundance of unicorns adorning the architecture. You'll not be short of ghost stories either. And in this quiet graveyard, you'll discover the inspiration for Lord Voldemort and Professor McGonagall. There's a monument to the heartwarming story of Greyfriars Bobby, who stood guard at his owner's grave for 14 years after his death, or the lone piper who haunts the Royal Mile. And our very own volcano has links to the dragons and the knights of King Arthur. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Come find the magic. Edinburgh is the UK's greenest city. Not that we want to make everyone green with envy. There's a space here for everyone, from high escapes to cosy glens, from secret gardens to old railway paths. There's beaches to comb and parks to play in, hills to climb and adventures to begin. Discover panoramic city views as you climb Edinburgh's extinct volcano. Edinburgh's a city for walkers, hikers, bikers, runners, thinkers, ramblers. Discover a new path today. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Edinburgh is a city shaped by water. You can follow the waters from the Pentland Hills right through the city to the Firth of Forth. There's beaches and bridges and boats to see. There's stories to and the old bunker on Cramond Island. Just follow the water and you'll find a story. Edinburgh, the story never ends.
think we're on now.
So welcome everybody to the Royal Commonwealth Pool in Edinburgh. This is session 6 of the Edinburgh International Swim Meet for 2023. I'm Tony Rose, and today joined by Scottish national coach Ian Wright to provide us with his insights and expert comment. Welcome, Ian.
Good evening, Tony. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. It's been a good couple of days swimming already at this international meet.
Yeah, it's a great meet this year. Lots of international swimmers, as we've seen, and domestic crowd as well to keep the standards high. So good swimming last night. Hopefully we can get another evening of excellent racing tonight.
Absolutely. So Belgians, Dutch, Danish, Canadians,
Israelis.
Czech Republic, Israelis. So it's a real cross-section of international competitors here, and it's been great to see them all at this meet. As I said, a great finals night last night, and this is the finals lineup you can see in front of you now. Start with the men's 400 IM. Any particular highlights across this schedule that you're particularly looking forward to, Ian? We've got a good cross-section of people in the 50 backstroke for women's. We've got Kylie Mass, Olympic.
Yeah, she's a world star, Kylie Mass.
Absolutely.
Obviously, always great to see her taking part of the 50. It'll be interesting with the skins. You've got perhaps a tight racing prospect in the men's 100 breaststroke with Petey headlining it, but with Wilby was very close to Petey when they raced a couple of weeks ago in Lausanne.
And Bernard Reitschammer, who came in as the fastest qualifier to the finals this evening.
So watch out for him. I think there's a really good racing prospect in the women's 100 butterfly against some international stars in there, with also Scottish interest right on the tail as well, with McInnes and Grieve and Perry.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to a good race in the 400 IM with Katie Shanahan and Ellen Walsh,
who's really come through this weekend. She's had some fantastic swim, Ellen, compared to her entries anyway. So she's fastest qualifier into that.
She was a world short course medalist in that event not that long ago. So she had a bit out of form, but she's come back into form now.
Definitely back in.
The 53 will be exciting as always, and I think at the end there's a chance of an excellent women's 200 freestyle race at the very last race of the night. Yeah. Quite an international field there with American Paige Madden, Danish Sina Bro, Freya Anderson, Lucy Hope, Abby Wood from Great Britain. So
keeping it exciting right to the very end of the competition this evening. So that's good to see. And we're kicking off here with the men's 400 individual medley. The format for this evening in these events is as our junior final. Then we have a B, so that's for 18 and unders for men and 17 and unders for women. We then have a B final, and it's the open final to follow that for each of the events, with the exception of the 800s where we're swimming the fastest heat. So in this men's 400 IM, that's the lineup there for the junior final. As boys are getting ready to go, that shot there looking at them from the bottom of the pool. In this one it's Kyle Mitchell, Gary in lane 1, Nathan Campbell from Stirling is in lane 2, Ben McLaughlin, Gary in lane 3, Elliot Sibley from Nova Centurion will be coming in 4, James Burnett in lane 5, Warren the swimmer, Joshua Robinson from Derwent side in 6, Thomas Traynor, East Kilbride in 7, and Gregor Ross, City of Glasgow in lane 8. So it's mainly Scottish and English talent in that junior final here, Ian.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting race. I don't know if there's a strong favourite here, but it's always tricky to tell with the heats of the 400 IM if people were giving everything to them or saving a little bit if they knew they were going to get through to the final.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's quite nice to see in lane 8 a 15-year-old in there in Gregor Ross, quite significantly younger than the rest of the field.
Yeah, very much so.
So that's nice. But I'm sure Sibley and Burnett could be the two to follow to begin with.
Yeah, no, it's a strong swim this morning from both of those swimmers. This afternoon, actually. And it's Nathan Campbell, though. He's the Stirling swimmer. 18-year-old just heading at the beginning there. But 400 IM, it's pretty tactical, isn't it? You really, people easing into their fly. You don't want to go too hard on the fly, I suspect.
Yeah, it's a great, probably my favourite race to coach over the years, and I really enjoyed coaching people for that event and the different ways you can swim it. There's so many different methods you can adopt, but for sure on the fly you don't want to, it's about getting through the fly with a decent time but using as little energy as possible. So you really need an efficient technique on the first 100.
And that was shown there, Joshua Robinson in lane 6, just heading in the fly leg. Often the breaststroke leg though, isn't it, that really makes the difference in a 400 IM. Can change things over quite considerably.
Yeah, I mean the breaststroke component obviously takes the longest amount of time, so it's really important you have a good breaststroke if you want to be successful in the 400 IM. I always think that often a swimmer can get through the first 200 meters relatively comfortably, and then when you get onto that breaststroke, you realize that's when the pain starts coming.
Yep.
And I always try to coach swimmers by saying that 250 meters to 350 is really the key part of the race.
Interesting.
If you can attack that bit, probably some of your rivals are falling off at that part. So you can make the biggest difference in that second length of breaststroke and first length of freestyle.
Yeah, and it's good flying back here from James Burnett, the 16-year-old from Warren de Baths.
Yeah, James is on a kind of an upward curve at the moment across a number of events. I think the Warren coaches are quite excited about his progress. So he's obviously gone out strong here. I'm not sure how strong his breaststroke is relative to the others in the field, so we might see people coming back at him a little bit.
You'd expect so. Usually in the breaststroke the stagger starts to unwind a little and he has got a very big lead, but unless he's really pushing hard in this, I mean he was DQ'd yesterday in his 200 IM, so good resilience coming through today on his 400 and absolutely trying to nail it, and he's still got a good 5 meters. He's not been pulled back that much, but this is the second 50 the breaststroke here coming through, Ian. Let's see
41. I mean Sibley's went 39.1, so he's caught up 2 seconds, but Sibley's already way back, and James is going to hold on to that down this breaststroke length for sure.
Yeah, and he's can do a bit of distance freestyle as well, James, so you'd expect him to be able to, although if you're not a breaststroker, the breaststroke can really take it out of you, can't you? So there's again a balance there between not overdoing it on the breaststroke to give yourself something to go for in the freestyle.
Yeah, you need to have a little bit in reserve. I mean, you can see Sibley is catching up now, moving into second place. I'm not sure again if Sibley will attack the freestyle here. He's got just under 3 second lead, has Burnett, as we attack this last 100.
Yeah, so I think Sibley came back strong in the breaststroke and freestyle this morning, and he's got a lot to make up though, hasn't he?
He has. He's 3 meters down. He's working hard. He's trying to close the gap. Sometimes you see people really fly down the last 50, but as I was saying earlier, it's always I think it's important to move. Don't just wait to the last length. Move on this length as well. And he has got him in his sights. He's caught up.
And also Joshua Robinson as well. That was a good turn from Elliot Sibley, and this is looking ominous for James.
Sibley and Robinson turned really well there. James was 34 seconds on that 50, so you can tell he's tired now.
Yeah, and it's been well judged here for both Joshua Robinson and Elliot Sibley. Showing there who's it going to be between these two, if we can change the angle, and oh my goodness, it's very close as they come in to the 5 meters. They are absolutely together, and it is Joshua Robinson, 4:43.89, 5 100s behind him. Elliot Sibley 4:43.94, and the early leader James Burnett comes in a 4:46.82. So he hurt bad in that last freestyle one, didn't he there, James? But 2 years younger than the two swimmers either side of him, so pretty good performance for him, but at a cracking finish there by Joshua Robinson.
I mean, it's a good time for a 16-year-old in James's case, but yeah, maybe a little bit of tactical learning there for him going forward. But you can't knock what Robinson and Sibley did there. They paced it well.
Absolutely, and I guess that's with James, if he knows his breaststroke is just not quite as strong as the others, the temptation is to take it out on the fly in the back just to give yourself as much a lead. So a bit of learning to be done there, but still a good swim from all three of those swimmers. A great way to start. the session this evening.
Yeah, good race to starters.
Definitely, definitely. So we're moving into the B final now, this 400 IM. A bit more international field as we move up the age groups here. We've got Charles Kershaw from Loughborough in lane 1. Pierce Greening, Stirling University in 2. Jay Manners, Derwent side in 3. Tom Robinson, University of Aberdeen Performance in 4. Luke Van Roy, PSV Eindhoven in 5. Sam Williamson, University of Bath in 6. Robert Burgess, City of Glasgow in 7. Evan Davidson, youngster from Perth City, getting into this B final. Swam for Great Britain last year at the Youth Olympics, I think, in the continent. Evan Davidson, contingent of Scots in that event.
Yeah, we've got 2 members of this Scottish national junior team here racing in lane 7 and 8, Robert Burgess and Evan Davidson.
Yeah.
So obviously I'll be keen to see how they get on, particularly. We've been working with them through the season so far. But, you know, we've got 4 people in the first 4 lanes who are all in their 20s, so definitely a senior outing here.
Well, 8 years age difference between Jay Manners and Evan Davidson. Yeah. Age no barrier at the moment.
And Evan having a good go down the fly at the moment.
Yeah. And yeah, he's keeping up with these older swimmers. Lane 6, it's Sam Williamson at the moment, the University of Bath swimmer, and Evan, who are taking this one out. It's going to be Sam Williamson out in a 1:09.93. So that's about 3 seconds quicker than that junior final, but you'd expect that. These guys are about 10 seconds quicker across the board compared to that junior. Evan keeping up there with these guys. You'd expect Robert to come back on this one, wouldn't you, in lane 7 of the backstroke.
Yeah, he's
specialist.
Probably his best stroke is the backstroke, so we'd expect him to be moving through or moving closer to the lead here.
Yeah.
The swimmers in lanes 1 to 4 maybe holding back a little bit through the backstroke, and we might see them coming through in the second half of the race.
Yeah, but I guess if backstroke's your stroke, you've just got to make the most of it, haven't you?
Got to make the most of it, yeah. Again, it's a careful balance. You want to build the first 50, and then I think the second 50 of the backstroke, you've really got to move. Try and increase the stroke rate if you can.
Yeah. And what's the risk with backstroke? Is it the legs that you get overtired, or is it just generally, if you go too hard on the backstroke, is it just kicking too hard, or is it just...
I think that the legs get tired no matter what you do. So
fair enough.
They get painful no matter what. So you can see Robert has moved into second place. But I think you've got to sit nicely in the water and just get the fluent arm stroke moving and feel speed with relaxation.
He's up to second. Tom
well clear, but it's a good race on the breaststroke behind him now.
I think Luke Van Roy is a good breaststroker in lane 5, the PSV Eindhoven swimmer, catching up with Sam Williamson as well, who's a strong breaststroker. And Jay Manners in 3's looking pretty strong as well. But Tom has got quite a big lead here. He came into the meet on a 4:30, so his heat team time was about 8 seconds over that. So to a degree, not surprising to see him.
He's not lost much. They all went 38s the first 3 there on that first 50. So it's you try to negative split these strokes, but it's very hard to do it on the breaststroke.
Yeah.
Typically, the second length will be 1 second slower than the first length, but if you can counter that, then you're in for a great swim.
Yeah. And Sam Williamson, University of Bath swimmer, is coming through quite nicely on this breaststroke as well, but it does look like Tom's possibly got this one sewn up, I think. 3:29.61.
Could see a 4:33 type swim off that if he holds strong on the final 100.
Should be pretty close to his entry time. Not expecting people to be swimming particularly close to their times in this meet when we've got trials coming up in a few weeks. I wouldn't have thought, Ian. It's a bit.
In most cases, yes, but you can never be sure of everyone, because there might be some people who are using this to qualify for the trials.
Good point. This is the last window, the last of the window, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's true.
No, it's also the first meet that you can use as a qualifying window for the British summer meet in July.
Yep.
So there might be 1 or 2 people who've got their eye on a swim or 2 for that, as well as the trials, of course, in a month's time.
Yeah. So And there have been some pretty impressive swims.
And of course, for some of the European ones who are here, again, they might have trials coming up, but they have different types of selection policies, and they might be using this to try and post a World Championship qualifying time. So everyone's on an individual thing here.
So it's horses for courses, but in this one, it's Tom Robinson who comes in, and you're bang on, Ian. 4:33.13 there. Second, it was Jay Manners, 4:37.31, and Luke Van Roy edges into third, just out touching in fourth. Charles Kershaw, Robbie Burgess 4:40, so improving on this morning swim.
Yeah,
as
nice.
did Evan Davidson, both improving on their morning swims, so you can't really ask for much more than that.
Nice to see the drop, because it's not easy to do 400 IM twice in a day and to do the second one better than the first one.
Absolutely.
You have to generally hold a little bit back. And some of these have had other races as well.
Oh, lots of other races, and given they're now, so Robert in particular, well, they're both still juniors, so they would have known maybe they would have a better chance to get into the junior final, but getting into that B final is good.
Yeah.
Good experience for them. Get a bit of international experience, although they were part of the Geneva. Were they both in the Geneva in February? Yeah,
January.
January, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Evan he swam at the European Youth Olympic Festival last summer for Great Britain, so he's shining very brightly at the moment.
And that was a year early, I think. He's got another year in that category again this year as well, couldn't he? So there's a continuous him and Stefan Kravitz and Kiana Kurtzer, and somebody else was there as well.
From Scotland.
Yeah, it was the three of them, I think.
But, those three, yeah.
So we're now moving on to the 400 individual medley final, and just being announced here in the pool. I'll go through on your screen you're getting the names, but Don Bissett from Stirling Union in 1, Ben Harrison, Loughborough University in 2, Evan Jones, Stirling University in 3, Thomas Janssen, Netherlands in 4, Yannick Wieland from the Netherlands in 5, Tony Joe Tret Oliver, Stirling University in 6, Angus Allison, Stirling University in 7, and Leo Gruart, French team Ligora in lane 8. So no Duncan in this final. He swam the heat this morning, didn't he? And
he swam this and the 200 fly, but I think that was his plan, was to do that as heat swims and then pull out the finals and take the rest of the weekend off. And just
because presumably he is going for trials in a couple of weeks.
He's in finished quite a high block of training, feeling quite tired at the moment, so he'll be aiming at bigger things in a month's time. So just a matter of not overdoing it this weekend and just saving it up for another few weeks' time.
So into this. So Thomas Janssen, he pushed Duncan very hard in that 200 IM final last night. That was a great swim from Thomas.
It was, and this morning he went 4:19, which he didn't need to do to make the final. There's 10 seconds easily he could have eased off, so I'm wondering if he had a go at this morning to try and get a particular time. I don't know his personal situation, whether he was chasing one of those World Championship times or not. It might be a selection event for him.
Because that was only a second over his entry time, which he achieved in the final of the European Championships last year. So,
I mean, he's probably
pretty
quite
on his
happy with
best.
that. And if he was at all underswimming that heat and he can go faster tonight, then it'll be a great swim to watch. But also, he'll be delighted with it, I'm sure. Yeah. Well,
I've got his times from this morning here, so we can get a good sense of how on pace he is in this.
29.0 for the first 50.
So I've only got the 100. So 57.17. Let's see where we are at the 100 fly. But he's been pushed here in lane 3. Evan Jones, who's really come through in the last 18 months, 2 years, hasn't he, Evan?
Evan made a massive improvement last season when he was chasing that Commonwealth Games qualification. Probably improved way more than anyone was expecting to, including himself. But he did a great job for Scotland at the Commonwealth Games as a key part of the relay and swam really well in his events. Fresh into the team at 18, and he's since moved to Stirling University and settled in nicely.
Does seem to have made the transition well. And often when you've got a youngster coming through for a Commonwealth Games year, he's got no inhibitions, there's no stress and pressure. It's just all of a sudden he's on the top of the world.
That's right. He handled the whole thing really well. Was just loving the whole experience.
I bet.
And, he settled in well, but I think, he's like Duncan, he's at a different phase of his career, but he's just finishing off the hard block of training before they start resting down into the championships next month. So interesting to see what he can go here. he probably was maybe underswimming the heats a little bit in a anticipation of pushing harder tonight.
Yep. So Thomas was a couple of seconds down on that first 100 fly compared to his swim this morning.
Okay,
just seeing if he's swimming any other events this evening.
It may be that he's not. It might be just trying to go for the win here rather than the time.
2:05.9 for him, so still a couple of seconds down. Maybe he's pacing it slightly differently, so a different approach. But Evan is certainly keeping with him. And his IM has really come on, hasn't it, Evan? I mean, a couple of years ago he was really a flyer and a freestyler, and he's developed across the 4 strokes in the last 2 years.
He's improved his backstroke and breaststroke. You might say they're probably his weaker two, because certainly the fly and the freestyle are world class of his. So 37.6 for Evan, 36.7 for Thomas. I think 36 is a decent split. I think Evan's probably happy with the 37. If he can hold that now, he'll be really happy. So, and still quite a big gap to anyone else in this race. It's quite spread out now.
Yeah. So let's see. Does look like Thomas is in control, but you can't count Evan out on this freestyle leg. As you say, he was a member of that 4x2 Commonwealth Games medal winning team for Scotland. So he's got form on freestyle. Thomas turns in a 3:20.33, so he is swimming a different pace. That's now just half a second down on Thomas's swim from this morning, so it's been swum very differently here. His breaststroke there was a couple of seconds faster than he swam this morning.
I mean, it's very hard, but he might be trying to break a minute. If he broke a minute, it could be back to the 4:19 again. It's difficult to do that on the 400M, obviously, but some people do it.
Yeah, he's got Evan pushing him along, so that'll help him, you'd think.
Yeah, Evan's just caught back up a little bit there, but he might be too far back. He's just gained 0.7 on that 50, but
it's a long way to come back, isn't it?
2.3 seconds down with 30 meters to go. So I think Thomas has this.
Sewing up, Tony Joe, Trent Oliver has come out of the pack out there in lane 6. The Sterling swimmer looks like he's going to get third, but Thomas Jansen is going to make it an IM double here at the Edinburgh International Meet as he comes into the wall, stream right hard into the wall, 4:21.82. So that's another back-to-back 2 very good swims there for Thomas. Evan second, 4:24.41. So he has improved by 7 seconds on this morning, and he came into the meet on a 4:24.57, so he'll be happy with that. That's pretty much on his best there for Evan in his 400 IM.
I'm not. It might just be inside his best if that was his. That was his time.
Just under 10th under. So at the end of a heavy batch of training, that's got to be positive.
Probably pretty happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Joe again right on his entry time, 4:27. So they are.
And the 400 IM is a hard one in terms of when it's not unusual for people to be in heavy training and then when they rest up, be 10 seconds. Could be 10 seconds quicker on a taper in the 400 medley. Yeah. Especially these men with their larger body sizes and bigger muscles. The benefit they gain from the rest and the shaving down is immense.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind just chatting through some of the taper stuff because we've got the 800 freestyle next, and I'm kind of thinking a taper for 800 is going to be very different to a taper for a 50. So maybe we can, as we're going through this, if we can maybe talk through, it'd be interesting to just understand the difference in the types of events and taper. And some people listening may be new to the term of a taper. So once we've introduced these swimmers and they get going, maybe we can go into that. So we've got Fleur Lewis here in the fastest heat of the 800 freestyle in lane 1 from Loughborough. Lucy Honke from Loughborough in 2. Elise Pissan from Belgium in 3. Leah Crisp, University of Bath in 4. Our French swimmer Valentine Leclerc from Ligue Ora in 5. Freya Colbert, Loughborough University swimmer in lane 6. Caroline Jensen in lane 7 from Hoofstatten, the Danish team. And coming out now in lane 8 is Michaela Glenster from Stirling University. Freya's got this 800 freestyle now, and I think she's got the 400 IM.
I think she's pulled out of it.
She's pulled out, so she's obviously looking to give this 800 free a good shot, so that will make it even more interesting, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I didn't know she was planning to withdraw, but she's not on the start list for the 400 medley.
She had a decent swim this morning, so maybe she was just happy with that.
But I think what her focus is here is to have a real go at this 800.
Yeah, so hopefully. Should make it a good race then.
She was easily won the 400. One of our best swimmers now on the 400.
Yeah.
I think she might just be experimenting a little bit here with the 800. Doesn't always do the 800, but if she can post a fast time here, it might, you never know, it might lead her to make other decisions later on about what events are the key events for her. So
let's look at
watch
that.
out for that.
In interest. So as they're getting going, so what, in terms of a taper, do you want to just talk listeners or viewers through what a taper means and what that would mean for an 800 freestyle? If say they're going for the trials in April, where they would be now and how that would work through.
Yeah, so I think first of all, if we try to cover it relatively quickly, but caveat the discussion by saying that we're really talking about senior swimming here. We're not talking about what 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds do or should do.
Yep.
We're talking about people who train 8, 9, 10 times a week regularly. They don't miss training. They have gym programs as well. So that's the kind of group of people we're talking about. Now, traditionally, and in very general terms, swimmers build up their training at the start of the season, go through maybe what we'd call typically base endurance work, building up their fitness, working on their technique. That would then change into a bit more higher quality work as you get closer to the main competition.
Yep.
Sometimes you use your competitions to do that higher quality training. And then as you get towards the most important meet that you're training for in that training phase, that could be a half a season, it could be a whole season.
Yep.
It could be in a 12-week window. You start to bring the training load down. You recover from the heavy training you've been doing. Your body rests, regenerates, it kind of bounces back, if you like, in layman's terms, in a better condition than it was when you were doing all that hard training. So the key part is to make sure your body does get that recovery in within the taper.
Yep.
Then the trick and the art is to how you manage that from summer to summer and event to event, because for some summers it's different than others. For boys and girls it might be different, although not exclusively so. There's no hard and fast rule about it.
Yep.
And across the event spectrum it can be different. Certainly sprinters tend to have a longer taper period than a distance swimmer. They will probably drop off more than the distance swimmer will do. Now in the girls 800, the women's 800, these swimmers will probably retain a relatively high volume through their taper period. They might consider tapering for 2-3 weeks is a typical amount of time you would call it your taper.
Yep.
Although some people, including myself, like to nowadays refer to it as you're not tapering, because sometimes that sends the wrong. I think that sends the wrong message to the swimmer. They just think training is going to be easy. Where what you're actually doing is you're bringing your body into peak condition.
Yep.
For the competition, and now that means you still have to do some hard work.
Yeah. Yep.
You need to get your race pace work in and practice that.
Yep.
And get better at that through your taper, as well as maybe bringing your overall load across the week down. Your volume will come down. Your overall intensity will drop a bit.
Yep.
And then maybe closer to the race, it drops right off.
Yep.
Now, that said, particularly in the distance events, a lot of what I've found and other coaches have found over the years is sometimes you drop off. It can be a mistake to drop off too much with these female distance swimmers. It's like they like to be in the water.
Yeah.
They want to keep swimming. So sometimes
makes them feel good. It makes them feel good doing that training. So.
It's a hard thing to explain, but like they'll come out and say, "I didn't feel the water. I didn't have my feel for it." And it's like, well, maybe you've come off too much. You had too much rest, and you don't feel quite right. So because they're so used to doing a lot, you've got to manage how much, and that can be a bit of trial and error over a period of time with a swimmer. You're never going to know straight away. You've got to work. It comes down to working with a coach and a swimmer together for a period of time to work out what works best. So I would, with girls like this and people I've coached in the past, I tend to have a kind of heavy, the taper period might be shorter, like maybe it's 10 days. The first few days of which is like really easy. You let them recover, you let their body feel good again, repair its recover from the hard training that you've done. And then in the last few days, you must build them back up a little bit again.
Yep.
Bring a bit more intensity back, so you're simulating what they're expecting.
Yeah, so you're getting them ready to back into a race.
Yeah.
So pulling them back into it. So hold that thought, because we probably just your thought around Freya in trying this one out, and she's certainly given it a good show. She is a good 3 or 4 seconds up on the rest of the race. 4:16.46 for her first.
So I noticed she was
400.
4:16. She was 2:06 at 200.
That's right, yeah. Right.
So she went 2:10 on the second 200.
61, 2:06 for 200 and a 4:16 for the 400.
So if she goes 2:10 again, I'll be around 8:36. Which is just off the Edinburgh International meet record. Right. So not bad for somebody who's trying out an event. Typically, and I don't know what her definite strategy is here. Her coach Dave Hemmings at Loughborough, I'm sure, has given her a specific instruction for it. But typically, the best swimmers will go out and come back in the same speed.
Yep.
So if she's out 4:16, ideally she's going to come back in about the same time and go 8:32.
Which is not bad for trying something out, is it?
Now, she's kind of holding mid-32 points, although Alice Pisan is very slowly maybe just closing that gap, although still a good way to go.
So she's in the 69, 68, isn't she? So looking strong.
Yeah, Freya's going swimming 1:05, so she's still about 2:10 pace for the 200. So I think 8:32 maybe off the cards, but you never know. Sometimes they speed up in the last 100.
Well, we've seen that a lot. We've actually seen quite a number of negative split 8s and 15s over the last few days. Whether that's where she's at, who knows? But she's looking very strong here.
So this is the that was the 5:50 turn. This will be 200 to go when Freya gets back down to this end of the pool.
Yeah, so it's a very strong swim.
So,
and it's
Alice is gaining by about 0.3 per 50 at the moment.
Yep.
So maybe just can see her. She's looking over. She's maybe got Freya in her sights now.
6:27.
Only 1.6 seconds behind. Again, gained 0.2 on Freya in that 50, but Freya's doing well. She's holding her pace.
2:11 for that last 200. So
we might see 8:38 or 8:37, 8:36 if she can speed up on the last part of the swim.
Looking good, high up in the water there. Still kicking well. So it's a great.
I mean, Leah Crisp also going quite well. The University of Bath swimmer in lane 4. She's been one of Britain's leading distance swimmers the last few years.
Yep.
So she also having a decent swim as well, holding pace. Again, Freya and Alice just a little bit of distance between them. It's going to be an interesting final 100.
Yeah, the momentum does seem to be slightly shifted to Alice A. She is swimming slightly faster each 50, but it's got a couple of... it's now down to just over a body length behind, and she's only 1/10 of a second faster, so it's going to have to be some last 100 here from Alice A. Hussein to catch Freya.
I think Freya could hold on to this, but she's good at digging in the final part of the race.
Yeah.
But this is definitely, anything under 8:40 is a real good swimming at this stage, particularly at this stage of the season.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be under 8:30 if you want to go to the World Championships and have a chance of making a final at a world event. And of course, the best swimmers in the world are doing 8:10, 8:15 for this event. So,
but Freya's just trying it out. See, it really is 400 medley would be what you'd expect. So this is a really good swim. And Alice A is catching up. Has she left it too late though? She's looking very, very close. She's really pushing hard on this last 15. 10 to go. I think Freya's just going to hold on. Very close as they come to the wall, and it is Freya just holding on there by the skin of her teeth by 0.4, 8:37.51. That is only a couple of seconds off the meet record, which is pretty impressive swimming from Freya. Very strong finish there from Alice A, and that's a good 8 seconds up on Alice A's entry time into this meet, so she will be happy with that. And Leah Crisp is bang on, really, her entry time coming as well. So good quality 800 freestyle there.
Yeah, Alice A swimming for Belgium. Again, I'm not sure. Maybe she was prepared to try and go for a fast time here, use it maybe for qualification for something later on in the year. But I'm sure Freya will be pretty happy with that performance. It backs up her 400 yesterday, and she's probably relieved that she doesn't have to do the 400 IM in half an hour's time.
Absolutely. No, that would have been, I think if you were going to pick a couple of the hardest events that you can do, 800 free and 400 IM probably would be on the list, I would have thought.
Yeah.
With 200 fly, maybe. And it's now over to the other end of the pool. We've got three. It's the men's 50 backstroke. So just to explain, we've got men's 50 backstroke and women's 50 backstroke here. We're going to run the junior final and the B final of the men's, and the junior final and the B final of the women's, and then we'll run the skins, which is concurrent male and female swims, but we'll come on to that in a minute. In this junior final, Okan Nehul Golden from Israel in 1, Cameron Jameson Repton in 2, Make Murder from Israel in 3, Stefan Omolchenko, Israel in 4, John Short, National Centre in Limerick in 5, Connor Cherrington, Millfield in 6, youngster from Aberdeen, Dean Fern in 7, and Robert Burgess on toolside again in a race in his specialist stroke backstroke, or his favourite stroke I suspect, in lane 8, City of Glasgow swimmer. So again, a couple of, well, Dean Fern, the youngest in the race here, really come on the scene in the last couple of years. He was a good age grouper when he was 12, 13, got himself through COVID and has come out the other side even stronger, I think.
Yeah, he's doing very well, very strong on the 50 and 100 metre events. In 5 gold medals at the British Age Group Championships last summer. He's already broken a Scottish
junior record 50 fly, which is amazing. And some of those records, that 50 fly had stood, was it Stefan's he took, and then that was actually younger.
And the British Age Group record as well. But this is backstroke, which he's also good at. So we shall see.
So Stefan Omolchenko, there's really strong contingent from Israel here, and they've had some really lots of finalists. There's across the pool there, maybe lane 5, John Short is going out very well. Lane 4, Stefan Omolchenko, the Israeli, is coming back hard at him. And I think it is still going to be lane 5, John Short. He does just edge that in a 26.73, so slightly over. Well, it's faster for him, the Irishman. Second was Stefan Omolchenko, 26.79. Third, Dean Fern came through, 26.99. It's a good swim for him.
I think it's slightly outside his
26.5 was his time when he came into the meet.
He did a 26.7, I think, a couple of weeks ago in Aberdeen. But coming here and swimming in that race, 26 back under the 27, really superb effort. Yeah. But and just a couple of tenths behind the winner there.
Yeah, so that was a good start to these 50 metres backstrokes. We're moving on to the B final now. Got Charlie Brown from Loughborough Uni in lane 1, Jamie Robertson, Stirling University in 2, Moritz Dietrich from Oberoster in lane 3, the Austrian team, Filipos Yakovidis, Cyprus swimmer in 4, Joe Litchfield, Loughborough in 5, Adam Marana, Israeli junior national team in 6, Elliot Clogg in 7 from Loughborough University, Sam Pease, Stirling University. It's less than 0.4 across the board on these 8 swimmers, so this should be pretty tight.
Jamie Robertson is the Scottish record holder on this event, and Joe Litchfield is short course, certainly one of the best in the world at 50 backstroke, so we shall see what happens.
Yeah, Sam Pease got into this final in a swim-off this morning, and he went 26.2 in that swim-off, which would have got him in the centre lane had he done it in the heat. So he's going well in lane 8, actually. He's right up there with them, but it's going to be maybe lane 5 or lane 8. Very close, and it was lane 5. Joe Litchfield, 26.11. Second, Adam Marana, 26.23. And Morris Dietrich and Sam Pease equal third, 26.27. That was a good splash and dash there. Good finish from Joe, using his short course skills into that long course race there. He holds the meet record here, 25.32 from a number of years back. It's, taking the B final this time.
Right, yeah.
So moving on to the women's 50 backstroke now, the junior final. Falka Tind, Huvudstaden in 1, Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow in 2, Maital Flickstein from Israel in 3. Melissa Mainwaring, West Lothian in 4. Angelina Rollman, Netherlands in 5. 2 Hofstatten swimmers, Mathilde Müller and Micheline Stockbroek in 6 and 7, and Kiana Kutza from Warnder in lane 8. So some local talent, Scottish talent, and Danes, Dutch and Israelis in here. So it's a good mixed bag in this junior 50 backstroke final for women.
And I'm definitely glad you were pronouncing those names for me.
I have no idea whether they were right or not, Ian, but you just got to give it a go. So as ever, good start from Heidi in lane 2. She's well known for her starts, isn't she, and her turns. Great underwater. And it does put her in good stead. Melissa Mainwaring, though, 17-year-old from West Lothian, is looking strong. National age group champion. And she's out here, and she's going to take this one, I think. See what time she does. 30.16 for Melissa. That's a good swim for her. It was Falca Tind, I think, coming in from lane 1. Outside steamer. Right for the confirmation there. In second, 30.65. And in third, it was Angelina Rollman. 30.7, the Netherlands swimmer. We haven't had the result yet up on the screen. We'll just wait for that. Get confirmation.
Yeah, a good swim from Melissa Mainwaring there. I think that might be a personal best.
I think it's a long course PB. She went 29.3, I think, at the short course, in the 50 short course in this pool in the Scottish short course.
And Melissa, along with Heidi and a number of others, are probably targeting the Commonwealth Youth Games this year, trying to get a selection for that, which is in Trinidad and Tobago in August.
Yeah.
We've got a team of 8 swimmers.
So it's going to be tough to get in that, isn't it? It's a small kind of focused group of swimmers.
Yeah. So it'd be they can qualify for that through the British Championships and the Scottish Age Group Championships, which are both next month back to back. So they're all gearing up. They've got times they have to hit, but the time is not a guarantee of selection.
No, absolutely. I think there'll be more qualifiers than there are spaces available, so that's going to be.
And then myself and a couple of others are going to have a hard time working out who's going to.
So I'll just look after the names in the programme. You work out the tricky bit about picking swimmers for squads. That's happy with that division of labour.
Yeah.
Hannah Willis in 1, Sophie de Groot in 2, Jasmine Eiley in 3, Natasha Whittle in 4, Cora Rooney in 5, Scarlett Ferris in 6, Malola Trumpet in 7, and Molly Garrett in lane 8. And it's a good start in lane 6, I think, Scarlett Ferris.
Another girl who's very good on the underwater skills.
Yeah, and it's particularly prevalent in short course, but certainly helps in this long course as well, doesn't it? But lane 4 is coming through very well, and I think going to get that, and she does. 29.47, so a nice improvement on her heat swim this morning. That's a good finish there from Natasha Whittle. Cora Rooney, Irish swimmer, 29.57, and Scarlett making the most of that good start. Edges out Sophie de Groot by 200s to get third in a 29.67. So we're now moving on to the skins, and this is an elimination race. It's been slightly revised from last year. We've got 8 in the first heat of each of these. Then we go down to 4, and then we go down to 2. So these swimmers getting announced onto the poolside together. And in lane 1 for the men's event, it's Jack Skerry from New Hall. And with him in lane 1 is the Ingeborg Leuning. In lane 2, we've got Manuel Martos Bacarizo from Spain and Kira Toussaint from the Netherlands. Lane 3, we've got David Gerchik from Israel team and Simone Kubova, the Czech Republic swimmer who had an excellent 100 backstroke last night. In lane 4, it's Oliver Morgan for Birmingham University and Roos van Otterdijk from Belgium. In 5, we have the Scottish short course 50-metre record holder Scott Gibson from Edinburgh University and Kylie Mass, Olympic champion and high performance squad from Ontario. In 6, Cam Brooker, University of Bath, and Kathleen Dawson, Stirling University. Good to see her back from that hard injury last year. In lane 7, Inbar Danziger from Israel and Lika Uda Lenfrink from the Netherlands in 7 in the women's race. And in lane 8 we have Stan Franks from Trient And Lotte Hosper, the Dutch swimmer, in lane 8. So this is an unusual event, the skins event. Days gone by, it had a bit of cash attached to it, I recall, but it's just for the pleasure this time.
Is that right? I think there's not as much sponsorship involved this time.
That's right. I think it's good 3 or 4 years ago when there was good money on this, but they had to work for the money. I think before it used to go down from 8 to 7 to 6. I think pretty much every run you had to have about 6 races to get your money.
6 races, you're right, yeah.
So this is so we'll have the first men's event here. They will swim. They will then do their race. 4 of them will be omitted and 4 will go into the next round. We'll then have the women's race. And they will swim and 4 will be omitted. A minute and a half after the start of the women's race, the men will start. There's no call for it. They just go. And then it'll be the women. And they go round and a round of 4 and then a round of 2. But they'll be looking to see. There's tactics in this. Do you want to win the first race or do you want to win the skins?
I think most people in this situation will want, because there isn't any prize money, they want to get a good time in this first race, and then we'll see what they can do after that. Yeah,
I think I've seen Tom Dean and Adam Peaty swim this as a training race where they just do flat out 50s for 6 of them. Yeah. But it's a really strong swim there from Oliver Morgan. 25.43. He came in on a 25.1, so it's a good time. Second, it's Cami Brooker. Third, David Gerchik. Scott Gibson, 4th. So we'll say goodbye to Stan Franks, Inbar Danziger, Jack Skerry, and Manuel Bartos Pacarizo.
Yeah, I think they had to go for it there no matter what, because there's no way to cruise that top 4.
Not really. So, but as it happens, I think that's the middle 4 lanes have come through, so it went to form. So the women's race will have a proper start at the beginning of this first race, but then it's on the whistle. So you can see the swimmers there, just big breaths. What's their best prep between lots of fast 50s, one after the other, is there?
Not a lot you can do. Walk back slowly. Try not to feel rushed. Calm your breathing. Try and bring your heart rate back down. And if there is any time left, I would sit down and just try and relax, take the weight off your feet.
That's the challenge for the men. And the women's race, Ruth van Otterdijk was the fastest qualifier. She has though got Kylie Mass in lane 5 on her outside, and Kathleen Dawson in lane 6 the other way. It's lane 5. Kylie Mass is looking strong here, and she is going to take this one. Olympic champion takes that one in a 27.79. So that's a pretty good swim. Sorry, world champion rather than Olympic champion. Commonwealth Games gold medalist. She takes that one 27.79. Simone Kubova 28.33. Equal second was Ruth van Otterdijk. And I missed the 4th there.
Kathleen Dawson was 4th.
Kathleen Dawson. So that's Kylie, Simona, Ruth, and Kathleen. So again, that's the middle.
Slightly surprised to see Kira Toussaint miss out on that one. She's been one of the top backstroke sprinters in the world for the last few years, and she was 28.72 in 5th place in the final.
Maybe was trying to hedge her bets there. Who knows?
She's now training in Spain, I believe, with Coach Ben Tidley and Kylie Mass.
Because Kylie's now swimming. Yeah, she's in the European
squad.
They're
in just north of Barcelona as a training base now. So interesting.
Yeah. And there you heard the beep, and somebody slipped, I think, off the wall.
Lane 5.
Lane 5 there. That's Scott. It's going to be hard for him to come back from that. He's got to get in the top 2, but he's given it a good shot. He's not given up, so good on him. But it's lane 4. Oliver Morgan, who's taken this one out. Lane 6 is looking good. Cam Booker as well. And it's going to be those 2, I think, who are going to take this one. Very fast finish in lane 3 from David Gerchik. Oh, and he gets it. It's Oliver Morgan and then David Gerchik out 500s ahead of Cam Booker. I thought Cam had that all the way, but he didn't. So it's going to be Oliver and David who are going to compete the last shootout. And that men's 50 backstroke. 26.61. That's a drop of about a second. Really hard to do these fast 50s one after the other. There's only 3 minutes rest between the start of that race. Well, 3 minutes from the start of that race to the start of their next one.
It's very tough, although it's a challenge they will have prepared for in racing, in training. Many times they do sets like this, so it does have, certainly boys like this, it's going to have a high physical toll on their body.
Yeah.
But it is something they are quite used to experiencing, I would say.
It's good training event in this in a competition environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have a lane 4, so I think Rhys van Otterdijk has not decided to take the offer of another 250 backstrokes.
I wonder if she's thinking of other races later in the program.
Kylie Mass, Kathleen Dawson, and Simone Kubova. Simone won the 100 last night. You'd expect she's got a bit of stamina. Kathleen staying with her, but it's Kylie Mass who's got the lead. And who is it going to be? Is it going to be Kathleen or is it going to be Simona? And it's Simona. My, that was really close. Yeah. It was 400s again between Kylie Mass winning it. Simona Kubova second, just edging out Kathleen Dawson.
Yeah, but after that, it's got the 100 fly A final coming up shortly, so she's no doubt wanted to go away and
prepare herself for that. Yeah, having had a good 50. So we've got the women's 50 final race is the same as the head-to-head on the 100 last night. So let's see if Kylie can get a bit of revenge on Simona over that one. And we've got Oliver Morgan, David Gerchik. They were the fastest two into this event. 100 split them in their entry times. So let's see who's got the stamina over these 350s between David and Oliver. So they've just got to judge when the start's going to be. They don't get any sense of the time other than that whistle. That's a good start here. This will be hurting, I'd have thought, up this final 50. Legs will be really sore. And they're both high rev, very high head there in lane 4. Oliver Morgan, slightly head further back for David Gerchik. And I think David's looking the stronger. He's really swimmer. And I think he is going to take this one. See what time he does here. Still 26.6. He went 25, 26.1, 26.6. So that's a good series of swims for Oliver, actually, was it? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, Oliver went in 5 and David was in 4, by the way.
Okay, that's well, there we go. So Oliver Morgan won that one. 26.6, well done him.
Really sure why Oliver changed lane there, but
just to confuse me, I think. Job done.
He should have stayed in lane 4.
I'd have thought so. Anyway.
That's
slightly bizarre. But anyway, that was a good swimming there, and he certainly, Oliver showed David a clean pair of heels in that last one. Wonder if Kylie Mass has stayed in. No, Kylie Mass has moved to 4, I think. Who's that out the water at the moment? Can you spot that? Kylie Mass, I thought she was wearing the grey cap earlier on.
Yeah.
Almost stroke for stroke synchronized there. Oh, it's lane 5. And there's Kylie Mass. Kylie Mass there, 28.78. That's pretty strong third 50. And just outdoing Simona Kubova. So strong swimming there from Kylie. That'll hurt. But her swimming is done for the evening, so she can rest. Simply been. Should you turn the backstroke, Kylie? Should we be doing that tomorrow, do you think?
I'm not sure she's done it in the past, historically, although I think she's tended to favour the 100.
Just wait to see tomorrow. So we're back up to this end of the pool. We're now on to the men's 100 breaststroke. Same format as before. Junior final first. Jack Mitchell, University of Aberdeen performance in lane 1. Robson Miles, City of Glasgow in 2. There you have it on the screen. Micah Van Blerk Warrender in 3. Callum Melville, Nova Centurion, Scottish junior record holder. Lane 5, Conor Mitchell, Warrender Baths. Ruyus Cringelis, City of Glasgow in 6. David Smith, Glenn Rothis in 7, and Logan van der Meulen in lane 8. Callum Melville, clear favourite here. Rising star from the Nova Club. I'd say Scottish junior record holder at this, I think, and the 200 and the 50. Just no mean feat when you've had the Scottish breaststrokers coming before you.
Yeah.
Craig Benson, Ross Murdoch.
Indeed. Although Callum swims in Nottingham, he's maybe had those aspirations to chase after, but he works down there in Nottingham with the Nova Centurion team. Strangely, 4 seconds ahead the way it's panned out in terms of the junior final, and Callum
just missed out on the B final. But he's going to have clear water, you'd think.
Yeah.
2 Warrender swimmers either side of him. 16-year-old Connor Mitchell, 68 in the heats, and Micah, his teammate, wasn't that far behind. Robson Miles, City of Glasgow swimmer, 18-year-old in lane 2 as well. But it's, as you'd expect, really, Callum Melville making the early running. Connor Mitchell's trying to keep up with him. Micah van Blerk in lane 5 as well.
30.48 in the first 50. He'll be happy with that, I think. That's a good split. Try and come back in 33 seconds. Can he get under the 104 that he did this morning?
Looking very strong. And it's pretty close behind him, really. Connor Mitchell maybe there in lane 5.
Lane 1 also going well. Jack Mitchell.
No relation. And it's going to be Callum Melville, though, who's absolutely streaks ahead here as he comes into the wall. Is he under that 104? 104.52. Connor Mitchell does get second. Good swim for him, 67.67. I think that's the personal best for Connor. And Royas Kringelis, another 16-year-old, coming in third in a 108.74.
Yeah, good swims from Connor Mitchell, the Warrender swimmer, and the 2 Glasgow swimmers who came next. PBs for those 2, I think. Well, first time into the 108s.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Callum Melville, again, another swimmer who's part of the Scottish national junior team, and I know he's been working very hard. He'll be one who's looking forward to his taper.
Yes, he looked like he'd been working hard in his 200s yesterday. He looked like he was hurting, but he improved in the final compared to his heat, and that's really much all you can ask for at this stage.
I mean, yeah, I would put him as a name to watch for as a junior level anyway. Next month at the British Championships.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that swimmer. Into the B final, Charles Grondel from TN Reggio, the Belgian team. William Ellington, Stirling University in 2, Sam Neild, Birmingham Uni in 3, Owen Corby, Ireland in 4, Archie Goodburn, Edinburgh Uni in 5, Rory Dixon, Stirling Uni in 6, Ollie Kettle, University of Bath in 7, and Yannick Wieland, the Netherlands, in lane 8. Owen Corby and Archie probably came into this event in exactly the same entry time, 60.5. Archie was a finalist at the Commonwealth Games. Owen is the Irish champion, Owen. But it's Archie, lane 5, looking strong up that first 50.
Yeah, Archie, of course, was part of the Scottish Commonwealth Games team last summer.
Yeah.
And breaststroke his best events, and he's having 28.6. I think he's pretty happy with that. Yeah.
See if he can hold it on. It's got a very strong 50, but his 100 here is looking very strong. See, he's got Owen on his inside, so that'll keep him focused. And he's not getting back, Owen, so this is a really good final swim here from Archie Goodburn. He is in on a 60.5. How close is he going to get to that? Owen's coming back slightly. Archie is getting caught, but he's going to take it in a 101.91, so that's a good second improvement on his heat time. Owen Corby second, 62.5, I think that was. Yeah, and Rory Dixon, good swim for Rory, coming in a 63.4 to take third in that. Just on his best there, Rory, just under actually, a 10th under his entry time, so that's
yeah, they'll have been, I mean, Corby and Dixon were pleased to have improved from their morning performance.
Yeah. All 3 of them did that there, so that's good.
They'll be quite happy, those top 3.
So now moving into the final, this should be pretty pretty good stuff. We've got Bram in lane 1, Bram Vetsloot, Netherlands. He's on the screen, 21-year-old. In lane 2 coming out, we've got from Loughborough University, that's Greg Butler. Next up, it's the Commonwealth Games champion, James Wilby, in lane 3. In lane 4, there we had, is Bernhard Reitzhammer, perhaps a prize fastest qualifier from Oberstdorf. Adam Peaty in lane 5, just come out, Loughborough University. Ivo Cruz, the Netherlands, in lane 6. Dara Green there, Irish swimmer, in lane 7. And in lane 8 from the Netherlands, that's Luca Janssen. So this is a pretty good 100 breaststroke field.
It is, and some of the older swimmers in the sport these days in here. James Wilby, 30 years old. Reitzhammer, PT, 29 this year. Dara Green, 28 this year. So
what keeps these guys going, do you think?
I think they love it, you know. They just enjoy swimming.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it helps if you're the world champion and you're the world record holder and the double Olympic champion. But
might have something to do with
it. However, you still have to love it.
Yep.
And love the journey and love the process of what you do every day.
Yeah. And Olympics a year away, so that must be, that must give them something to keep.
There's not a lot of money in swimming, as we know, but some of these top swimmers are making a reasonable amount of.
Certainly now, compared to 5 years ago, it's worth. It is worth financially keeping going.
And go to you swim well at the right times, you can earn quite a bit of money from it.
Yeah. But surprise fastest qualifier, I would have thought, Bernhard Reitzhammer. See how the others do. He's taken out on the lead though. Bernhard, James Wilby on his inside. Got a lot of catching up to do after that start. Adam Peaty in lane 5 is looking strong, and he's just edging ahead of Bernhard Reitzhammer. And it's going to be Adam who turns, but not by an awful lot. In actual fact, it was Bernhard who just edged that touch by 100, 27.83 to 27.84. James Wilby a second down. Lane 1 swimmer, Brams Lietzoot, Dutch swimmer, is looking good as well.
I expect Wilby to come back strong in this final 25.
And he's coming back, isn't he?
He always does.
In for a really close race here. The 3 swimmers in the centre, James, Bernhard and Adam, almost stroke for stroke as they come into the wall. Who's going to get this? James Wilby has the momentum. Who's going to get the touch? And it's Adam Peaty, 1:00.20. 8 100s ahead of James Wilby in 1:00.28, and Bernhard Reitzhammer, who I think was leading that race up to about 98 metres, got edged out by the old pro Adam Peaty, who took that win. Good race practice there.
Yeah, excellent race. Really good for the fans and the crowd to see that tight race. Especially it's not just Adam and James as we normally see, but great to have an Austrian Reitzhammer in the mix there. We don't often have that pleasure as well. So, but also good swimmers, I think, from Dara Green and Greg Butler behind that. I think they'll be quite happy with their 101s.
Yep.
For this time of the season. Again, that puts them in a good place for their preparation into their.
Well, Dara Green came into this in a 61.89, so that's actually that's an improvement on that entry time, so he should be pleased with that.
Good to see him doing that. At his age where it becomes harder and harder to sneak those PBs, so absolutely. I think he must have done some good preparation.
Good stuff.
For sure.
Moving on swiftly to the next event, women's 100 metres butterfly junior final again. First up here, Coco Croxford, Stirling Swim in 1, Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow in 2, Holly Marshall from Repton in 3, Maddie Cool, Bucky Swimmer in 4, 5 is Mathilde Muller from Hoofstatten, Orla McInnes, Hart Midlothian in 5, Stella McCarty, City of Glasgow in 7, and Becky Watson, Borough Stockton in lane 8. And
yeah, like we said, some of Scotland's best junior swimmers in here. Croxford, Wren, both part of the national junior team as well.
Yeah.
But also Madison Cool is a fast and improving swimmer.
She had a great heat swim this morning.
Yeah, she went 103. She went 103 last week, dropped from a 1.5 to a 1.3. So
pretty impressive.
Really nice to see that, and she'll be hoping she can do that in this final again.
But it's Mathilde Müller from Hoofdstad and the Danes. So it's good experience here for Maddie with that Danish swimmer pulling her along. Stella McCarty out there in 7, fly specialist from Glasgow, has had a good first half of this race and is still in the mix. It's Mathilde and Maddie Cool who are really edging it closer together. It's all on the finish. I think Mathilde is going to just edge that one, and she does, but that's a 103.39. Maddie Cool back in the 63s again, 63.57 for the 15-year-old, and Stella McCarty sneaks under that 104. So she's there in a 103.99. So a nice early season, long course season swim for her, Stella. That's your 1, 2, 3.
Good swing there.
Move on to the B final, and in this one we have Katarina Price, University of Bath in 1, Laura Cabanes Garçaz, Spain in 2, Jessica Calderbank, City of Manchester in 3, Emily Large from Millfield in 4, Holly Hibbett, University of Bath in 5, Georgina Pryor from Devonshire in 6, Elise Tannis, Netherlands in 7, and Maisie Elliott, the Loughborough swimmer, in lane 8. Not bad if you've got a B final with Holly Hibbett and Emily Large in it. That's a good quality meet. They're international renowned swimmers.
Yeah, some many internationals for Great Britain between them, those two.
Yeah, Emily Large is world junior champion of 200 fly a number of years back when I think Kiana McInnes in the next heat was the silver medalist in that event.
That's right.
So this should be a good final, and these two will want to post good times. They'll probably be a little, maybe have expected to get in that A final. So
yeah, they'll be a little annoyed that they're in the B final.
But got each other to pull each other along. So
yeah.
Lane 5, Holly Hibbett's going out the best. Lane 6 as well, Georgina Pryor from Deventio. And all those swimmers came into this event with a sub 60 100 fly, so they'll be looking to see if they can do that here. Lane 3, Jessica Calderbank from Manchester going well as well, but it's actually Georgina Pryor out there in lane 6, 28.22.
That's a good first 50 from Georgina.
Yeah, she looks very strong. Good turn as well. She's really made the most of that. And it's lanes 3 and 4. That's Jessica Calderbank, Emily Large coming back hard at Georgina.
Always expect Emily and Holly to finish strongly because they've got that 200 background. And
it is Emily trying to kind of challenge Georgina, and it's going to be Emily, I think, who is going to take this one. She does, 1:00:30, just edging out Georgina Pryor by 6 100ths of a second there. And in third, Holly Hibbett, 1:00:64. So all improving on their heat swim. So that's a good step up for those swimmers.
Georgina Pryor dropped from a 1:2 there to a 1 minute from the heats to the final.
Yeah.
Not sure what she was entered on.
It's 59.7. So
I think she'll be pretty pleased
yeah,
with her performance.
It's a big drop off for her. Really went for it though there, you could see from the start, into the turn hard.
Yeah.
And off she came. So we're now into the open final in this women's 100 butterfly. This should be a really good race. Good international field here. And so in this one, as they come out through the signs there, in lane 1 we have Chiara Schlossen from Edinburgh University. Lane 2 from Ligo Verne, it's Lily Rose Bertholot, Kiana McInnes, Stirling University in 3, almost said Hart Midlothian there. Louise Hansen, Loughborough University in lane 4, Swedish international, European champion. Roos van Dorderdijk from Belgium in 5, Kim Bush, Netherlands in 6, Scottish juniors champion from years gone by, Lucy Grave in 7, Stirling University, and Yasmin Perry, University of Aberdeen in lane 8. So we've got Louise Hansen here, won the European Championships last year as the actual meet record holder, 57.97, so she's a frequent visitor to this meet. And
established herself as one of the world's best
in
this event, really, to be fair.
Absolutely. So great to have her here, and this is...
Van Otterdijk has been rapidly improving over the last couple of years and has really broken into the international scene herself now. So
18-year-old, won the European Juniors last year, where she swam her entry time 57.85. So there's more to come from her. 59 this morning. She did pull out the event earlier on, the women's 50 back, those skins. This fly was straight after, so she's clearly going to go for this. Let's see how this race pans out. Fast starting Louise Hansen has gone straight from the gun there. Good start. And she's out. Kim Bush, she won the 50 fly race and skins last night, so she's got good form in this first 50. Will she be able to hold it together? And she's certainly taken it out as Kim Bush from the Netherlands. She turns first, 27.06. That's a couple of points faster than this morning's first 50, so she's going to pull these swimmers along. Great turn from Louise Hansen there. And she went in behind, came out ahead. In between them.
I think Louise will be strong down the final piece. Kim perhaps known more for her 50-metre swimming than 100-metre swimming, but obviously going pretty well here.
Yeah, and
anyone's race behind Louise.
Yeah, Roos coming back hard in lane 5 as well, and it's going to be Roos, I think, who's going to take that in a 57.84 from Louise Hansen. That is a fantastic swim there. New meet record for Louise Hansen, so congratulations to her. Second, it was Roos van Totterdijk in a 59.07, and in third place it was Lucy Grieve. She came in right in the end in lane 7 to get third in a 59.18.
Yeah, she was finishing really strong in up to stroke rate down that final 20 metres, and that's a PB for Lucy Grieve there.
I think she went 59.16 at Bucks just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So better, thereabouts.
That's this season, yeah.
Very good. That's 2 swims. That was only 2 weekends ago down in Sheffield. So
she was 59.8 or 59.9 coming into this season. So
very good.
She's also moved from South Ayrshire last year, started university at Stirling this season, and I think she had a fairly difficult first part of the season, suffered with illness quite a bit.
Well, it's a big shift going from home to uni, starting different life, looking after yourself a bit more. It's not easy for some of the swimmers to do that.
She's really, since the new year, she's really seemed to settle into her groove now, and is swimming very well at the moment.
Great prospect, isn't she? So that's the women's 100 fly. We're now moving over to the men's 200 fly, junior final. In this junior final, Findlay Club, Aberdeen Dolphins in 1, Travis Davey, Dundee City Aquatics in 2, Matthew McMillan, Incas in 3, Tom Robertson, Aberdeen Dolphins in 4, Bertie Gordon Gibson, Warrender in 5, Calvin Neese from Hobeek, Danish team in 6, James Burnett, Warrender in 7, and Kieran Lennox, University of Aberdeen in lane 8. So turn fly. All about the pacing this event, I think, really, isn't it?
Very much so, pacing and conservation of energy by doing an effective and efficient stroke.
Kieran Lennox
having a brave effort down the first 50.
Sometimes, though, you can just feel good and you keep going, and then all of a sudden...
Sometimes it can work. Although it's Brodie Gordon Gibson who turns first.
27.83.
Another member of the Scottish junior team, along with Tom Robertson in lane 4.
Yeah. So Brodie and Kieran going for this one. Brodie really kind of emerged last year, didn't he? Yeah.
He did. He's a big, strong guy.
He is.
Swimming out of Warrender under Bruce Halloran, the coach there. And Kieran's still gone well down the second 50 as Lennox, but
still the fastest in the pool, Kieran.
Fair play to him for having a go like this. It takes a bit of guts to have a go in that sense, but
it is the event that if it doesn't work, it can really, really pain you at the end, can't it? But he's still there.
Yeah,
he's still ahead.
I would always want people to come back really well on the last 50, but he's got the bit between his teeth by the looks of it. He's holding on. Still.
Yep.
Tom Robertson starting to put the pressure on now from lane 4.
He came in a 2:08, Kieran, so you know he's that's faster than the entry times in the middle of this field, so he was maybe just misjudged his heat.
He's done a good underwater phase as well. That's what also helped him here.
Still one of the fastest in the pool. Tom Robertson's coming back strong in lane 4, fastest qualifier. They're both Aberdeen Dolphin swimmers. Stroke for stroke. Kieran starting to tie up. Tom still looking pretty strong as they come into the flags. And is it going to be Kieran? Is he going to get rewarded for that bravery? Almost. 2:08.91 by Tom. Just edging out Kieran, but that was a gutsy swim there from Kieran, wasn't it?
Yeah. Given that he was doing a 2:09 there, him and his coach are probably wondering why he went 2:15 in the heats.
Just
almost. I mean, he only made it into the junior final by a tenth of a second.
Yeah.
So he was in some sense lucky, but also he took his chance tonight in the final when it came.
Make the most of your luck, and he did that. So, but it was Tom Robertson who took that one, just edging out his teammate Kieran Lennox. Brodie Gordon-Gibson third, and we're now on to the B final. Isaac Buchan, Burr Stockton in 1, Brogan McAvaney in 2 from the National Centre in Limerick. Israeli junior team Yarden Jan in 3, Oliver Sogard Anderson, Uv Staten in 4, Ite Rosenfield, Israel junior team in 5, Scott Fleming East Kilbride in 6, Callum Rose Edinburgh University in 7, and Daniel Dravchov, another Israeli swimmer, third swimmer in this B final. This one's a bit of a tighter affair on paper, only a couple of seconds between these 8 swimmers. As they prepare to start. Good international field, a couple of Scots and English representation as well. Let's see how this one goes. Fastest qualifier was Oliver Sogard Anderson, the Danish swimmer in lane 4. Going out hard. It's actually maybe lane 4 it is Oliver. Also in lane 7 and 8, Daniel Dravchov, Callum Rose, both going with him, but it's Oliver, sorry, who's lane 4 swimmer, 27.37. Strong. Another strong start in lane 8 like we had in that junior final. This time it's Daniel Dravchov.
Yeah, he's another one. He's giving it a go.
He absolutely is. Let's see. He came into this meet on a 2.5, so he's got faster form than that 2.9. And it's those two, the Danish swimmer and the Israeli swimmer, taking this one out. Oliver Sogard, Daniel Dravchov, both under the minute. So that's
good.
Putting a marker down.
31 there on the second 50.
Yeah, so they are moving ahead. There's still a few swimmers still with them. So you've got Yarden Jan, Brogan McAvaney, Callum Rose, and Ite Rosenfield. And they're still, though, lane 4, Oliver Sogard Anderson. He's going to take this one, but it's tight behind them. It's still Oliver, Daniel Dravchov there, and Yarden Jan in 3rd. And it's Oliver's really got the bit between his teeth, and he's coming back strong in this final 50. I think it's going to be Oliver's race. In lane 3, Yarden Jan, the Israeli, Callum Rose in 7 coming through as well, and a strong finish. But it's going to be Oliver who really took it from the second 50 onwards. He's going to get first. Yarden Jan second, Callum Rose third. 7:01 for Yarden and 2:08.24 for Callum.
Yeah, nicely paced race there by Oliver. 2:05 finished with a 33. So he held on nicely at the end. And good swim from the Edinburgh University swimmer there,
yeah,
Callum Rose.
You'll be happy with that, I think. As we move into the open final here. In this final in lane 1. Another one of those swimmers transitioned to university swimming this year. Andrew Bertoli. He's a Stirling University swimmer. Anglo-Scot, only trained with Glasgow laterally, didn't he, before he moved off to uni, I think. But,
Bertoli?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a bit of training with Glasgow, although he was also down at Ellesmere at school for a period. Scottish through his parent ancestry. So
yep. And it's Sterling now, so he's in lane 1. Francisco Aravello Rubio, the Spaniard, in lane 2. And in lane 3, we've got Tom Bailey from Aberdeen University. And 3, the Spaniard, sorry, lane 4, Miguel Martinez Novoa, the Spanish swimmer, in lane 4. In 5, Greece international Andreas Vassios. He's been at Loughborough. He's still based at Loughborough, I think he is, isn't he? But he's swimming for Greece this weekend.
Yeah, very talented swimmer.
Arbidel Gonzalez Alvarez just gone through your screen there from Spain. Yahav Halag, junior swimmer in this open final from Israel in 7. And Angelo Mormina, Villefranche swimmer in lane 8. So heavy international European contingent in here. Andrew Bertoli and Tom Bailey representing the home nations.
If this was a short course race, I would say Andreas Vassios would be the definite favourite for it, because he's extremely good around the walls and his underwater power.
Yeah.
Long course, he's still a great swimmer, but not quite as a favourite. We will see what the Spanish guy Novoa goes in lane 4. He might be the favourite on the 200 heat swim. And of course, the immediate target for some of these will be, can they swim under 2 minutes?
Indeed. Well, they're all, most of them are entered in coming into this under 2 minutes. Not all, but some of them are. And
Beeley's been 158, and I'm pretty sure Bertoli's a 202 PB.
Yeah, and Arbidel was a European Championship finalist in this event when he went 157.42.
Wow,
so
there you go.
Lane 6 swimmer. He's second fastest after, so he is the fastest into this race from entry previous to it. So let's just keep an eye on him in lane 6. And it is lane 6. Arbidel Gonzalez Alvarez, who has taken this one on. Very straight arm out the water there. Very different strokes. Lane 2 here. And the other Spaniard, Francisco Aravello Rubio, and it's actually going to be him who takes that first 50. 26.53. That's not hanging about.
No, that's a good start. And Tom Bailey out in 26.9, showing his intention as well. Doesn't always go out fast like that, Tom. Sometimes he tries to hold it and come back later.
Yeah,
this is a bold swim.
It's pretty close, really, isn't it? Two Spaniards in lane 6 and 2 are making the moves, though.
Yeah, lane 6 going very well, I think, at the moment. Looks really smooth.
57.5, and he is the fastest in the water by some margin. Andreas Vassios there, 30.7, coming back. Good turn, though, in lane 5 from Andreas Vassios there. He really pulled back on Arbidel Gonzalez Alvarez. And it's maybe these two who are starting to pull away. Lane 4, Miguel Martinez Novoa is not too far behind, and so it's the three Spaniards and the Greek swimmer who are fighting this. What a turn from Andreas Vassios there.
Yeah, they hold the 30 point. They should break 2 minutes.
And it's very close. Very tight between lane 4, Miguel Martinez Novoa, and Andreas Vassios in lanes 4 and 5. He did tip Andreas in a short course pool, but he's doing it in the long course one as well, Ian. And he's going to be nip and tuck as they come in. Is it Miguel or Andreas? And it's Miguel, I think, who gets that. Oh, just over those 2 minutes. Miguel Martinez Novoa, 2:00.24. Just edging out Andreas Vassios into second and third. It was Arbidel Gonzalez Alvarez, the second Spaniard, 2:01.99. That was a good race.
Yeah, it really changed around that race a little bit. Interesting different pacing strategies there. People going out strong, or people trying to hold on at the end. But really, was it Novoa who came back the strongest at the end to take the win, overtaking Vassios in that final 10 metres.
Yeah, so he'll be pleased with that. over his entry time, but that's a good 2 minutes. Is still a pretty good 200 fly. Moving into the next event. So this is event 208. We've got the women's 400 IM. Junior final up first. Cassie Wiper, East Kilbride in 1. Emily Maxwell, Derwentside in 2. Another Derwentside swimmer in 3. Alice Forrest, 14-year-old. Coco Croxford, Sterling swimming in 4. Another 14-year-old Nice Lothian, Anna Kravich in 5. 2 more Derwentside swimmers, Anna Finlay in 6 and Isabel Fox in 7. May Rogers, Warrender swimmer in lane 8. So Derwentside heavy in this half of the swimmers in this junior final from Derwentside. 2 14-year-olds, Anna Kravitz and Alice Forrest. Alice has already swum an 800 today as well.
Yeah, and you'd say some of the Scottish girls who are in this junior final are some of our most promising up-and-coming swimmers, particularly Zara Kravich, Coco Croxford in the middle of the pool here. It could turn out to be a battle between them, but I expect Derwentside contingent to be strong.
Yep. Yeah. Coco is a national junior squad member, isn't she, I think?
She is. Zara Kravich is in the Youth Academy program.
Yeah.
Coco's strong on fly and backstroke to an extent. Fly's probably her best event, but she's a lot weaker on the breaststroke, so you might see people coming back at her on that. Zara seems to be going out relatively comfortably here.
In her morning swim, Zara was comfortable in the fly in the back, really looked like she was working hard on the breaststroke and came back strong. So see whether she employs the same tactics again. She's one of the youngest. Another 14-year-old is Alice Forrest in 3, and she's probably going to turn 3rd. So 108.9 for Coco. It's not bad, 100 backstroke.
Nice opening 100 for Coco for sure. She's done 104 for the 100 fly individually not that long ago. Maybe 20, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Now she's back in doing a 400, so fair play to her.
It's got echoes of the men's junior final with James Burnett going out in his fly in the back as well. So see how Coco can hold it together across the 4 disciplines of this 400 IM. And she's turning with a sizable lead.
So 39.8, so yeah, she looks like she's
pulling away.
Increasing the lead because she's the only swimmer who split under 40 seconds for that length.
So she's looking very strong.
I'm sure she'll, again, if she is thinking tactically, she'll have thought, I want to get ahead before we get onto the breaststroke, because she probably is aware that they may close her down on the breaststroke length.
Yeah, that's all to play for on the freestyle. It's Alice Forrest, the young Derwentside swimmer there on one side of her, and in lane 6 it's Anna Finlay, a 16-year-old from Derwentside in lane 6. Sarah Kravitz not that far behind, so let's see if she can come back a bit on this breaststroke. So Coco lead there, 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds really.
Yeah, good split, 2:28. I think there's a 1:19 backstroke split. Lane 3 now starting to look strong and closing that gap.
Yeah, so this is what happened in the heats this morning. Alice came back strong, and as I say, she had a tremendous 800 freestyle earlier on as well, Alice. So thinking she's got a strong second half to this 400 IM. Other girls come back as well. Zara in 5 and Anna Finlay in 6. So it's starting to bunch up a bit. That 3.5 second lead is down to half a second.
Yeah, I mean, Alice 3 seconds quicker on that length than Coco.
Yeah. Everyone else a couple of seconds quicker.
But not pulling away quite so much now on the second length of breaststroke. Maybe just edging into the lead now, Alice, as Coco ties up a little bit on breaststroke, looks across to Alice, trying to keep her in the race. But Zara Kravich and also Anna Finlay from Derwentside are coming strong on the far side as well.
Yeah, all to play for really, isn't it? Good breaststroke leg there though from Alice. 3.5 seconds behind Coco at the beginning, and she goes 2.5 seconds afterwards, so a 6 second turnaround on that 100 metres breaststroke, and the others have pulled up, but should be, looks like it may be a race for seconds here. Can't see them getting back to Alice.
No, and Alice is looking strong. Like I said, it's a good distance stroke technique that what Alice is showing. You know, quick stroke rate, no long glide at the front.
Yeah.
Long stroke, but no long glide, and she's getting her arms over nicely, kicking the legs. 50 to go.
It looks like she could keep going, doesn't she? It's a really, as you say, good.
Coco and Zara dead level with 50 to go.
So let's see who's got the legs between Zara and Coco. See who's going to get the top spot in this junior final, but I don't think there's any doubt now. Alice Forrest, the Derwent side swimmer, is going to take this junior 400 IM. Her heat time is a 5:15. She's going to get nicely under that.
Zara Kravitz coming back really
very
well in
strong.
the last 50.
Yeah.
Great swim from her.
Very well paced swim. So 5:09.06 for Alice. 5:10.74 for Zara. 5:12.81 for Coco Croxford.
Yeah, that's good swimming, particularly Alice Forrest. Zara Kravitz really paced that race nicely. Zara Kravitz going 32.3 down the last 50.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah.
So the two 14-year-olds, first and second in that race. Showing their older compatriots the way to do it.
Yeah, good at 14, decent swims that.
So moving into the B final, we've got in lane 1 Livia Kingsland, Nova Centurion in 1, her teammate, Kate Morris in 2, Piv Statton's Ophelia Nudeker in 3, in 4, Orla Adams, University of Aberdeen Performance, Holly Robinson, Repton in 5, her teammate Eleanor Broughton in 6, Meryl Shrabdenjik, Netherlands in 7, and Isabella Willard in lane 8. Entries here 5:04 through to 5:12. But all of them swimming under par from their entry times, so that might just be slightly misleading guide. So Isabella Willard in lane 8 was into the 5:05, for example. So
all are 10 years older than anyone else in the race.
Yeah.
In lane 4, so been on the Scottish scene for a long time. All Adams still going strong in the 400 IM at age 28.
not bad.
Not many people want to do 400 IMs at that age.
Not many want to do any age, really. Yeah. So here we go, first 100 here, lane 7, Meryl Schravendijk, Netherlands swimmer, 18-year-old, in lane 7. Although I was hearing that Len have changed the classifications for junior swimmers, I think, haven't they? Introducing it this summer, is that right?
Don't have confirmation of that from Len yet.
Oh, okay.
World Aquatics have changed their junior ranking age from 14 to 18-year-olds, boys and girls.
Yeah, so it used to be it was 17 for girls, I think.
It was 17 girls and 15 to 18 for boys, but we know that Commonwealth Youth Games we just found out this week that Commonwealth Youth Games will realign their ages.
Really?
To that. And that makes with immediate effect for this season. So
that has a big impact, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah,
in the range of
swimmers
available
into contention, especially on the girls' side for girls born 2005, as they now become eligible. And we'll have to. One of my jobs next week is to kind of reissue the policy and get it approved again now, because we're going to have to put the policy out a few weeks ago for the selection of it, and now we're going to have to change it to amend the new.
So effectively, a whole new age group of female swimmers are now eligible for that meet that weren't eligible before.
Yeah,
so
and boys as well, although it won't affect them so much because it'll be the younger end of the boys. But and I don't think we'd have anyone at that young age creep in. However, we're not sure yet. We think Len are going to do the same.
Right. Okay. Well,
but we don't have the confirmation of Len doing that yet. And if they do, will they make it happen for this year's European Juniors, or will they wait and introduce it later on? So
quite tricky. It's not that far off qualifications for these events, and that can really make if a whole new age group of people are introduced to the potential. And
some countries may have already been doing selections. So it's tricky. Yeah.
Watch the space on that one then. And it's Kate Morris here, Nova Centurion swimmer in lane 2. has come through after the fly in the back, 5:07.11. Turning in a 2:23.17.
Well, 2:23 is a good split. And I don't know the standard of Kate's breaststroke.
4:53 was her entry, so into the event.
So, but I would certainly expect her to go faster than 5:07 off a 2:23 first half. So.
Yeah, looks like that, unless her breaststroke is. She's getting wound back by Orla in lane 4, and out there in lane 6, Eleanor Broughton from Repton, and
Isabel Willard also in there in lane 8. Field swimmer.
Yeah, so it's definitely tightening up, and maybe Kate's just been taken over by Orla Adams, the experienced Aberdeen performance swimmer.
This girl went
Ophelia Neudecker.
Is a great split.
Oof. So yeah, that's 5 seconds, 4.5 seconds on Kate Morris, and here she comes. Ophelia Neudecker is going to be the Danish swimmer. Looks like she's going to end at the end of this breaststroke leg in the lead, a 4:55 coming into this meet. She's definitely swimming under herself this morning, and Ophelia has really come through strong on that breaststroke leg. A 40 point there, so 39 then 40, that's pretty good in a 400 IM. A couple of seconds faster than Orla on that second breaststroke slit. Let's see if she can hang on.
Great breaststroke split, but also looking strong on the freestyle. Not tying up any signs of that right now. Only Orla left in this to challenge Ophelia.
Yeah, so Ophelia's looking strong. She'll want to be getting under 5 minutes, you'd think, with this, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she should be, unless she falls apart on the last 50. She's got 6 seconds.
Just under, I think. So in on a 4:55, so this is going to be approaching her second in the Danish Junior Championship, so she's clearly got form in their domestic setup, and coming through here to take this B final.
Yeah, it's been a good swim this. Looks like she may go around 4:57, somewhere around there.
As she comes into the wall, and she's going to take this one by a margin. There you go, 4:57.78. That's a really nice swim from Ophelia. Orla Adams also just gets under the 5 minutes.
Yeah, nice to just dip under again for Orla.
And third was Eleanor Broughton, 5:02.89. Early leader Kate Morris held it together, 5:04.54 there. Good race there from Ophelia. Orla Adams, as you can see, second, also under the 5 minutes. Eleanor Broughton coming in third. So moving into the open final here. We'll just wait for the swimmers to be introduced over on the side of the pool there. And as they come through, first out will be the University of Bath swimmer, Megan Byrne. So Katie, I think, did the 100 fly this morning, did she?
The 200 freestyle.
200 freestyle was
just on the heats of this, and then she had an attack at the 200 free to see where she could go. But she was always going to pull out of that in order to concentrate on the 400 medley final tonight.
So that's her coming out next in lane 5. Before her was Ellen Walsh from Ireland in lane 4, Alba Vasquez Ruiz in lane 3 from Spain, Michaela Glenster, Stirling University in 2, and Megan Byrne in 1 from Bath University. Lane 5, as I said, Katie Shanahan, Stirling, Paula Jus Sanchez just there in 6. Ambre Fonquinet from Belgium in 7, and Holly Marshall, the Repton swimmer, in lane 8. So where's Katie at in her season, do you think? Well, she's
had a she's been able to up her training since going to university, and we always that was always part of the plan, that she would be able to increase the load, increase the intensity. She didn't have to do quite as many early mornings as early. Just the same amount of mornings, but not quite as early now. She's got a more consistent gym program, so she's been to altitude training for 3 weeks in January. And she's been going well. She did a PB for 200 back and 200 IM at the Bucks Championships, and put in a really good position for that. She needs to challenge herself here to see what she's capable in the 400, because obviously she's a Commonwealth Games medalist in this event. And it's a wide open event for Great Britain. Her and Freya Colbert are typically Britain's top two now on the 400 AM, now that Amy Wilmot and Hannah Miley are no longer in the events.
Yep.
So it's Katie and Freya who usually battle it out, but as you've seen, Freya's opted to miss this one tonight because she's already done the 800. So I think Ellen Walsh will provide a stern test for Katie, so it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. And Katie, I'm hoping she'll be challenging herself anyway against herself, but also against Walsh. But just mention the two Spanish girls, Sanchez and Vasquez Ruiz. Katie's also raced against them in the junior ranks in the years gone by.
Oh, okay.
Vasquez Ruiz, I think, was the European junior champion in 2019 and when Katie got the bronze. So they probably know each other
pretty well.
Yeah, so I was speaking to her coach earlier on, the Spanish team, and they were saying that this is the first time she'd done the 400 for a wee while. So they were looking at how she's going on it. And yeah, so 103.6 is a good start. Just held the lead. It's a decent effort. She could maybe go faster. We're now in 102 at the Commonwealth Games. So, but she's hopefully balancing the energy a little bit.
So she use events like this just to try slightly different tactics for a race, or does she have a fairly consistent 400 IM approach to her race?
The answer is a bit of both, really. I think, particularly in a race like this, there's always something that we're maybe trying to work on. And particularly, she's got some technical things to work on her breaststroke leg coming up here. So we're interested to see how that's going. I've been talking to her coach, Steve Tigg, about that. And so we'll see if Katie worked on it. She worked on it this morning in that first 50 and did it well. So we're looking if she can push that for both 50s tonight. And she's done a good second 50 of backstroke here. Ellen is pretty good breaststroke though, so we might see Ellen come back a bit. I think the Spanish girls are good at breaststroke as well. So although Katie's got a strong lead and 2:14 is a good split, it all comes down to this breaststroke now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ellen did well in the 100 breaststroke yesterday, I think, wasn't it? She did well on that. So it's Katie out there, but Ellen is coming back. So a bit of a challenge coming in on Katie Shanahan from principally Ellen Walsh, Irish swimmer, 22-year-old. You were saying that she had been world or European short course a couple of years ago.
Ellen Walsh, yeah, I think she medalled at the World Short Course.
Pre-COVID, or would that have been after COVID?
Just after.
Right.
And then she seemed to lose a bit of. She came really into great form. Trained in America at University of Tennessee, I think it was, and then seemed to lose form. And maybe she had an injury or some health problem after that. But now she seems to be coming back into it.
Yeah, coming back at Katie on this race. Yeah, so give Katie a bit of
also Ruiz has caught up a little bit as well.
So it's good final 100 here, 3:35.96. So Katie has about a second and a half up on Ellen and Ruiz.
Well, it's a good split for Katie. If she can finish well, I mean, she wouldn't be far off her PB here, 4:39. So this could be the. I think she might just be outside that, just into the 440s, I'd guess. But
it's pretty good at this time of the season, though.
Yeah,
isn't
it shows she's in good form. I know she's in good fitness.
Good.
Yeah, well, 33.2 depends. Maybe we see a 31 if she really pushes it on this. We could go 440, and it should be really happy with that.
Yeah, that'd be a good swim. Ellen's pushing her though, isn't she? That's helping. I would have thought, having somebody just on your shoulders. And Ellen's catching up a little when she comes into the final 25. I'm sure Katie will know she's there, and She always just seems to edge people out at the end of races, Katie. Some swimmers have that knack, don't they?
Yeah, just noticed that she's coming and had to put on a little bit extra.
Yeah. And she had that extra gear, and she comes in. Good time, 4:41.11. Just 0.4 behind her was Ellen Walsh. Pushed her all the way. Second quicker on that last 50 by Ellen. And Alba Vasquez Ruiz 4:44. So that was a good quality 400 IM there.
Yeah, it was. It's a tough event, obviously, and you don't often see girls in these type of meets swimming around that 4:40, 4:45 area. So it's good form there, good standard.
Excellent. So there we have the confirmation. Katie Shanahan, Ellen Walsh, and then the two Spaniards, Alba Vasquez Ruiz and Paula Just Sanchez. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're now moving back down the other end of the pool. 50 freestyle for men, 50 breaststroke for women, and the skins finals. So only one event after that to go, which is the women's 200 freestyle. So we'll stick with the 50 freestyle. In this junior final, we have in lane 1 Jacob Wibley from Repton, Liam Dawson Davencio in 2, Near Hay from Australia's national junior team in 3, Evan Bailey, he's in lane 4, National Centre for Limerick, Yves Statton's Casper Pugard in 5, John Short, Limerick National Centre in 6, Dean Fern back in the pool again in lane 7, Cameron Jameson from Repton.
Nice to see Dean Fenn make the final here again as a 15-year-old against mainly 18-year-olds in this junior final. The Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer, so I think he's the only Scottish swimmer in this race, so we'll look out for him.
And I think that he's gone slightly faster than that freestyle time before, but not a lot, I don't think, from looking.
No, I don't think he's done a 23 long course standing
that's
start.
Right. It's 24.15, I think, from memory. It was his time coming.
He's off to a good start.
He is.
Lane 5 also off to a very good start.
So that's Casper Pugard, Hoofstaden Danish swimmer. I think he won medals at European Juniors last year, didn't he, Casper?
Yeah.
Very strong fly swimmer, and he's showing his skills here in the 50 freestyle, and he's going to take it, Casper. That's a very good 23.59 for him. He takes that one from Evan Bailey in 23.63, and in third Jacob Wibley 23.89. But that was a good swim from Casper. I think he's not done any fly this weekend. I'm pretty sure fly is one of his main events, so he's trying out some different stuff this weekend, and it's worked for him there. And we move into the B final. It's Tom Exel, Loughborough Union 1, Brian Leong, Chelsea and Westminster in 2, Jacob Whittle, Loughborough Union 3, Callum Bain, National Centre for Dublin in 4, Jamie Ingram, City of Manchester in 5, Thomas Carswell, Edinburgh Union 6, Yanis Dutel, Guillaume Villois in 7, and Bruno Kempster, Edinburgh University swimmer, in lane 8. I think Callum Bain might have expected to be in the open final for this, I would have thought. But he's got a chance in this B final to see what he can do.
He would.
And Jacob Whittle, maybe. So good to have.
Callum Bain usually is aiming for a 22, so he'll be looking to get under that 23 tonight.
22.4 he entered into this meet. 22.8 for Jacob. So let's see what they've got in this B final. Lane 5 going strong, James Ingram. Lane 4, Callum Bain, who we were just talking about. Coming through strong, and it is going to be Callum Bain. Is he going to get under that 23? I'm sure he'll be wanting to do that. Jacob Whittle in 3, not far behind him, but it's going to be Callum and Jacob. Who's going to get the touch? It's Jacob, 22.96, 100th of a second ahead of Callum Bain, 22.97. And in third, James Ingram, 23.26. Good race there.
Yep, Jacob Whittle, obviously one of top junior swimmers for Great Britain in the past few years, and on the senior team as well.
Indeed.
And I'm pretty sure he's been training hard and will be fully focused on the trials coming up.
This will be his first year at Loughborough as well, so he's another one of these ones making that transition to different setup. He was an outstanding 15, 16-year-old, wasn't he? He was world's best at 15 or 16 at 100 freestyle, if I remember.
That's right.
And he's followed through into that senior ranks. Doesn't always happen. It's hard to get when you're that fast at 15-16 to actually make that happen back all the way through. So Dean Fearn's got that challenge ahead of him. So he'll be getting looked after to help him do that. And then now into the women's 50 breaststroke in the junior final. Lucy Stoves, Dundee City Aquatics. Mikaeline Stockbrough from Hovedstaden in 2. Amy McLeod, City Glasgow in 3. Ellie Robertson, South Ayrshire in 4. Anna Finlay, Derwentsside in 5. Charlotte Williams, Hatfield in lane 6. Zara Smith, Warrender in 7. Ellen McGeorge, Cooper in 8.
Everyone on a 34 here from the heats.
0.8 between them. Hayley Robertson, third in line of the Robertson clan.
Yeah, going well at South Ayrshire again. Byron Sturricker, the coach down there, always does a good job of bringing these young sprint girls through usually.
Lucy Grieve before her, and the other bigger sisters have come through that system. John Daughter's doing well at the moment as well, I think.
That's right, yeah.
Slight delay. Beginning this 50 breaststroke. And as we just wait for the starter to give the orders. Not quite sure. I think the clock, well, we've in the pool, we've still got the times up from the previous 50 men's 50 freestyle final, but there the whistle goes and we're good to go. Music's down. Girls on the blocks, ready for this junior 50 breaststroke final. Stoves, Stockbrough, McLeod, Robertson, Finlay, Williams, Smith and McGeorge. So who's got best out the starting blocks? Maybe lane 6 actually. Charlotte Williams from Hatfield. Good start from her. Hayley Robertson coming through in 4 as well, but it's, as it was on paper, it's pretty close across the field here. I think Hayley Robertson just coming through strongly. But outside her, Anna Finlay from Derwentsside and Charlotte Williams, who had that good start from Hatfield as they come into the flags. I think it's going to be lane 5. Strong swinging there from Anna Finlay, and she comes in a 33.73, so that's a nice uplift of half a second for her in her heat swim. Hayley Robertson did get second, just 6/100ths ahead of Charlotte Williams from Hatfield. 34.09. Good swim there from Anna.
I think decent swims there.
Straight into the B final. Kirsten Powell, Millfield in 1, Alwyn Cook in 2, Edinburgh Uni. Jill Nye Chung Tong in lane 3 from WVZ. Edinburgh Uni's Katie Goodburn in 4. Hannah Bowley, Repton in 5. Grace Palmer, Belgium in 6. Charlotte Hardy, Millfield in 7. Kira Fletcher, Nova Centurion in 8. Katie's the Scottish junior record holder. 31.78, a couple of years ago now. Edinburgh University, second year. She's in lane 4.
Yeah, at her best, one of the top swimmers in Great Britain on a 50-metre breaststroke is Katie Goodburn.
Yeah.
And we should be looking to get closer to that tonight here as we go in the B final. But Charlotte Hardy also of interest. She's one of national junior team. She swims for Millfield, but she's also from South Ayrshire.
Yeah.
So
she moved to a couple of years ago, wasn't it? I think, if I remember rightly.
Right.
Down to the school just before COVID, maybe. Good start from Katie. Always gets good start, Katie. And she's off flying from the blocks. Jill Nye Chung Tong on her inside is trying to keep with her, but I think Katie's going to bit between her teeth, and she's really pushing hard on this one. As you say, 32.9 entry. I think she'll be looking to get quite a bit faster than that. Maybe nudge under the 32 if she can. Not just 32.41, so a nice improvement for her. Hannah Bowley snuck into second there. Repton swimmer. Also a 32 point, and Jill Nye Chung Tong just on 33 dead. Nice swim from Katie.
Yeah. Half a second drop from the heats. So, like you said, she always gets a good start, Katie. Very good on the dive and the underwater phase. Nice to see Charlotte squeeze into fourth there as well, dipping to 33.1. So she'll be probably quite happy with that.
Quite a bit younger than the rest of the field there. So we're into the skins finals now. In the lane 1, in the men's 50 freestyle, we've got Tom Dean from University of Bath and Niamh Coyne from Ireland. In 2, we've got Sean Nievold from Netherlands and Anna Gierums from Tens. In lane Netherlands, Ten Scheld from Belgium. Lane 3, Thomas Piron from League Auvergne and Anna Palmans from the Netherlands team WVZ. In 4, Tom Fannin from Ireland, fastest qualifier and fastest qualifier in the breaststroke for the women. Imogen Clark from Daventio. Lane 5, Nikita Bays, League Auvergne. And in lane 5 for the women, it's Cara Hanlon from Edinburgh Uni. In 6, David Cumberledge, Edinburgh University swimmer, and Jana Spinner from University of Bath. 7, Alex Cahoon, Loughborough University, and Cornelia Palmer from Oberoster. And in lane 8, Martin Kartavi from the Israeli junior team, Anna Morgan, Edinburgh University. So there are your lineups for the men's 50 free. Dean Nievold, Piron, Fannin Bays, Cumberledge, Cahoon and Kartavi. And a women's 50 breaststroke, Coyne, Gierums, Palmans, Clark, Hanlon, Spinner, Palmer and Morgan. But it's the men first up. Unusual to see Tom Dean in lane 1, and this is the 50. I think he did this last year, and he, if I remember rightly, he did all 6 rounds, and he absolutely went for it in every single one of them. See if
he might be fancying his chances to win the skins if he can get
through the first round. Yeah, exactly. And he's got some pretty swift swimmers in the middle there, so he's going to have to.
Yeah, if he can get in the top 4, I'd fancy him.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
some of the people who are ahead of him are probably one swim and done.
Yeah, 250s is 150 too many, I think. So let's see if he can manage that. I think the others will be pretty conscious of that, so they'll be going flat out in this first race just to make sure they can freeze out Tom Dean. But that's not easy.
Don't freeze out Olympic champions very.
You wouldn't think easily. So let's see how this goes. He's in lane 1, so we'll just keep an eye on that. And they're off. Level across the start. So let's see, sprint specialists in the middle of the field. Lane 4, Tom Fannin, the Irish swimmer, fastest qualifier into the meet, 22:32. I think Tom may not be able to get through this first 4. It's very close to call. Tom Fannin. Oh, he does. Oh, it's equal 4th.
Oh, we'll have to swim them both.
Yep, so they'll take 5 through. That's clever tactics there from Tom. So Tom Fannin through, Sean Nievold, Nikita Bays 3rd, and equal 4th. Tom Dean, Alex Cahoon, David Cumberledge only 200s behind them. So good swim there though from Tom Fannin.
Very tight as it is always, but it just shows you the importance of getting your finish right.
Yeah.
There's no room in a 50 for a mistake. You know, sometimes if you're in the 1500, you can. If you do a bad dive, maybe don't worry about it too much. Bad 10 here or there, but in a 50 at this level, there's no room for error.
So shown there by 3 swimmers within 200 of each other, from 3rd through to 5th. David Cumberledge misses out by 200s. 50 breaststroke final. Niamh Coyne, Anka Gierums, Anna Palmans, Imogen Clark, Cara Hanlon, Jana Spinner, Cornelia Palmer, Anna Morgan. Cara's on a hot streak of form in the last few weeks. 50 and 100 breaststroke Scottish records, I think, in the last month or so. But it's lane 4, Imogen Clark, the Daventio swimmer. She's really going out hard. Cara on her outside. Imogen was the fastest in, 30.02. Cara's 30.86, and it's going to be the Daventio swimmer in a 30.46. That is a new meet record, taking her own meet record from last year. Second, it was Cara Hanlon, 31.26, and Anna Palmans third, 31.87, and 4th through into the next round of the spins is Jana Spinner. So that was a good swim there from Cara. And Imogen Clark getting a meet record.
Actually, really good swim from Imogen Clark there, 30.46.
That's a fast swim, isn't it?
Yeah, she looked really good as well.
Yeah.
Strong, did a good start and powered her way all the way to the end. I think she probably, like we said earlier, she was really wanting to post that time, see what she can do in the first. I'm sure she'll give her best now, but It might be harder for her to get that time again.
Let's see how she goes.
In the 50s that remain.
So we're back to the men's. So we've got lane 7 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So Alex Colquhoun's a little bit out on a limb there. I don't know whether that'll be an advantage or a disadvantage in this situation. Or it doesn't matter in a 50. Head down, off you go.
In a sense, I'd say it's an advantage with the no waves around him.
Well, it looks like lane 4. Tom Fannon's taking the chance to have a swim down. Oh, look at Tom Dean. You were right, Ian. Look at this. Tom Dean in lane 1. It's going to be Tom in 1. And Alex Colquhoun in 7, I think. It is 23.31. That's not bad for a second 50. Alex Colquhoun. That's almost as fast as he went in the heat this morning. Tom Dean. 23.31 there. Second. Tom Colquhoun 23.92. So those two, I think, will go through. I think it goes straight down to 2 now. We'll move on to the women's 50. Breaststroke, second round. Anna Palmans in 3, Imogen Clark in 4, Cara Hanlon in 5, and Jana Spinner in 6. Let's see if Imogen has got the legs for a second 50, or is it going to be Cara and Jana and Anna? This 4 will go down to 2. Just waiting for that whistle now to let them know they need to get on the blocks, and then it'll just be the buzzer. So no, take your marks, got to get ready. And who's got the best reactions when they hear the buzzer? And they're off. Good start, lane 4. Imogen Clark got a good dive there. Just a fast turn. Cara pretty split on the ranking, on the start timings. And Imogen is going well here. Ian?
Yeah, I really like her stroke. They got the rhythm, it's going really well. She's obviously going to get more tired as these 50s go on, but she's still got the lead here. It looks like her and Cara Hanlon are going to make it through to the final round.
Yeah, Jana Spinner trying to keep up with Cara, but it's going to be Imogen. What time's this going to be? 31.34. Yeah. That's not bad for a second 50 breaststroke.
Yeah, good, very good. And Clark's got a bit of experience of swimming these 50s and these skins. She's done it in a number of meets internationally. She's swam all over the world, so she's probably enjoying that. She'll be pleased with a 31.3, I think, in the second race.
I think so. Should manage under 32, do you reckon? We'll see, won't we?
I think Cara will push her more in that final one now.
Trying to smile there, Cara. Not sure she really feels happy, but let's see where we go in that one. Right, up to the final swim off here for the men's swim. We've got Alex Colquhoun in lane 5, Tom Dean in lane 1. Possibly got a fancy Tom Dean here, haven't you?
I think so.
Oh, straight from the start, look at that. Wow. He's not giving up, Alex, is he?
No, I think they both probably want to see what they can actually go here.
Good swimming, though. I think Tom's going to take it, but Alex is stuck with him, and it's going to be Tom, 23.67. 25.75 for Alex, so 22 point, 23 point, 23 point for Tom Dean. That's
good swimming from him. He's in good form. He was 146.0 in that 200 last night.
He looked strong, really strong.
Very good.
Seen him in Edinburgh quite regularly. He was up for this meet last year. That seems to be on their roster of meets.
Yeah, his coach Dave McNulty from Bath always likes coming to this event or coming up to Edinburgh for the different type of meat that you get up here sometimes compared to down in England.
Yeah. So here we go. Cara Hanlon, Imogen Clark. Imogen in 4, Cara in 5. Imogen's won the first 2 of these races. Is she going to make it 3 out of 3? Waiting for the... There we go. So Cara just 300s faster on the start, 0.68 to 0.71, and she's closer on this one than she was on the second, as you predicted, Ian. It's a good shot.
I mean, Imogen normally has the speed, but Cara has a bit more endurance typically than Imogen. So
it's a cracking swim here. I think Cara's going to end up the winner at the end. So Imogen took the flat race, but Cara takes the skins in a 32.28. Oh, that looked like that was sore. Yeah, 33.86 for Imogen.
The pain will have hit by then.
Smile from Cara there. I'm not quite sure how forced that was. She takes the women's 50 breaststroke skins. That was good. They were good, hard races there. So, for that women's 200 free that I mentioned earlier, we have, this should be pretty good as well, this 800 free, shouldn't it, Ian?
Yeah.
Looking at the lineup.
Robinson, Turley, Whiffen, Obuck, Bird, Hutchison, Romano. Yeah, good swimmers all. Yeah. 5 of them with entry times under 8 minutes.
One of them just over. So
and Whiffen was been in great form this season. Obuck's proved himself at the world level, Olympic, World Championship events. He's right up there.
Yeah. So we'll just get them introduced into the pool here. In lane 2, we have Loughborough University's Toby Robinson. In lane 3, it's going to be Luke Turley, University of Bath. Lane 3, Luke Turley, University of Bath. Daniel Whiffen in lane 4 from Ireland. Felix Obeck, Loughborough University. 5, Kieran Bird, University of Bath swimmer in lane 6. Charlie Hudson, Loughborough University swimmer, Scottish national swimmer as well in lane 7, and in lane 8, Yoav Romano, Israeli junior national team. Yeah, we were almost a privilege watching Daniel Whiffen in that 1500 at Scottish Short Course, wasn't it? It was just an amazing swim. If you get a chance, people watching on the live stream, you really should watch it. I'm not sure many times you suggest you watch a 1500 on watching back on YouTube, but it was absolutely outstanding, world-class 1500 swimming at that meet.
That was one of the most impressive swims I've seen for a long time.
Yeah, it really was fantastic.
The way he went out strong but held pace so consistently through the swim.
Got his 800 Irish record halfway through that race as well, which is not sure that can happen that often.
Yeah, and put himself up there for Ireland now as a genuine world level swimmer.
Yeah. Well, I think that time would have gotten medal at the world short course that was going on at the same time over in Australia, wasn't it? So yeah, he just put himself on the map. Medalled at the bronze medal at Commonwealth Games, I think, didn't he? Or was it silver? One or the other. And here we go. So this is Toby Robinson in 2, Luke Turley in 3, Daniel Whiffen in 4, Felix Oback in 5, Kieran Bird in 6, Charlie Hudson 7, Yoav Romanov in 8. 1500 yesterday, Daniel won that. 15:07 I've got in my head that he did, so slightly off his best, but it's still a very strong swim, following up the day later with an 800. It's Kieran Bird, 27:39, no slouch himself. Kieran, podium potential swimmer, Bath University squad.
Swam at the last Olympic Games for Great Britain. So, there's a fairly controlled start from everyone here. No one taking it on just yet, looking at each other and just measuring each other up. I think it's always quite a good tactic in the 800 to start steady and try and build through the race.
Yeah.
I often say to the swimmers, think of it as 4 200s and try and get, well, at least if you can't drop your time, increase your energy output per 200, and you have to build the effort in order to even just maintain the time.
Yep.
So there's different tactics you can employ. You can go strong and see what happens. You can cruise the first 50 and then try and settle into a good pace throughout and blast it at the end.
Or blast it in the middle.
Yeah, sometimes that's a tactic you have to employ in order to maybe try and break someone who's hanging on to you.
Yeah, so these are pretty close here. You could see maybe after 300 or 400, one of them may decide to give it a go. difference from a 1500 is if you do that at 600 and an 8, there's 200 to go rather than...
There's also a tactical decision often as to where you place yourself within your lane. As in, do you sit in the middle of the lane? Do you move over to one side of the rope or the other side of the rope? You might do that to try and get away from your rival who... Because if you swim close to each other, you can, the one who's just on the shoulder can get a little bit of a ride off you if you're leading. And so
you can see either side of Daniel Whiffen, both of them trying to get as much as they can from him, but he's bang in the middle.
Yeah, he was kind of hanging off of Whiffen, but he thought, oh, hang on a minute, this other guy's on me as well. So, tell you, I used to coach Luke back down when in our Hatfield days. He was one of our summers, and you know, I was so pleased to see his development over the years, and he got a medal at the Commonwealth Games as well, the 1500.
Yeah.
And when he was only, I think I met him when he was only 13 years old at the regional champs down in England. And just a young lad, you know. You would never have said at that point that he was going to go on to the standard that he's achieved. But it just goes to show you, I think, as a coach, that whilst you see the talented ones that show themselves to you, there are others out there who, if he just got on with it, you know.
Yeah, and is that so? The fact he's doing a 1500, I mean, they do make 1500 swimmers differently, don't they? I mean, they are a breed apart.
Yeah, there's a different mentality to maybe not do the race.
The training is hard,
to bring yourself to do the training required for that. Because you'll do the 800. Well, quite a few of them will dabble with the open water swims as well. But Luke was just one of those guys who just, you know, very humble. Didn't know, nobody noticed him, and this gradually, steady progress. He's always been tactically very good at finishing off races as well. Yeah, really good in his 200s and 400s at coming back well on the last part of the race, and that's one of his great strengths that he's always had. But I guess Whiffen has now put the pressure
ahead
on.
Yep, so he's just going consistently half a second faster. I used to train with David Stacey many years ago. Yeah, he was a breed apart. He was just amazing to watch him train.
Yeah, I remember a bit of him when I was swimming.
Showing my age. But it's Daniel Whiffen here, turning. He's just 29.6, 29.7 every time. The other guys are half a second to a second down on that. Luke is the guy who's trying to stick with him, or try and go with him anyway. Fastest on of the three followers in that 50 there.
I mean, the 800 for men has been around for a good number of years, but it's not always been swam in every competition. It's only more recently that it's been like, well, we have to have 800 and 1500 for men and for women now. Yeah. So sometimes you think, we're still kind of finding our feet, the men in the 800 a little bit, and these swimmers are working out, am I better at the 800, better at the 1500? Good at both.
They are double the distance. So the fact you're good at one doesn't mean you're going to be necessarily good at the other, does it? And it's and it's a bit like the 400's become almost like an extended sprint, hasn't it? Really, in the last little while. And the 800's sort of bridging that divide between the 8 and the 15 and the 4. But don't get many people going up from 4 to 8 as much as you do 8 to 15.
No, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be the 4 is a different kind of race to the 8 for sure. Although, you know, some of them do. Some of them, you know, over the piece have done it. But often you see the 400 swimmers come down to the 200. But I think Whiffen, Daniel, this 800 distance suits him. He's obviously very good at the others as well, but he seems to be very comfortable swimming 800. 7-8 minute race. Just seems to suit him really well, and doing a great job. In these guys both trained together in Loughborough, Obeck and Whiffen. Turley is in Bath.
As is Kieran.
Yeah. Training partners down there. Toby Robinson swims in the same group as Obeck and Whiffen in Loughborough.
Charlie's in a different group, I think.
Charlie Hudson, he swims in a different group with Coach David Hemmings.
Yeah. But it's Daniel here. He's coming up to 700. Good swim.
You see the difference in the techniques. Whiffen barely using his legs. He's really an arm-only stroke at this point. Maybe we'll see him bring the legs in a bit more in the final part, but really working the arms, not using legs too much. Bit of a balance to the stroke.
Yep.
We're still repping
60s.
60 or just over 30 seconds for the. We should see 7:54, 7:55 maybe. It depends how fast he's capable of going down the final 50.
Yeah.
Can he put a sprint on, or will he just hold on to this?
He was looking up at the counter there. I wonder whether he's lost count. That's unusual.
Yeah, well, it's happened before, I think.
Yeah.
So I think he wants to just be careful of that these days.
So the counter wasn't down when he was looking up, so a mild panic, I wonder. But I think having heard the bell, he would have been all right. So maybe he was just looking up to get a breath. But it's been a strong swim from Daniel here to build on that 1500 that he swam last night. He's done a long distance double as he comes in a 7:55.27. That's a very impressive swim. Anything under 8 minutes is good going. Look, just over the 8 minutes there. And third, I think it was Robinson, I think.
Finishing well. A little bit surprised by Felix Obeck finishing a bit further behind, but remember, he's from Austria. He's been thinking of World Championships, and again, I don't know his exact situation, but it might be that he's already selected for the World Championships. He doesn't need to taper for a trials next month. Austria don't pick their team like that, so he'll have no doubt have a different type of training plan from his coach there, Andy Manley at Loughborough.
And that's different swimmers in the same squads, all trying to taper and do different things with different targets, which must be very, from a coach's perspective, that's quite tricky.
Yeah, very tricky, very tricky. Especially with those elite level swimmers who can't, not all, but they can be quite demanding, and they're deserving of your time. And then at the trials, when the trials do come around, Obeck won't be able to enter our champs just to get a swim because it's a British only meet, so he'll have to stay back in Loughborough, or he goes back home and trains in Austria. Of course, his coach and the rest of the squad are going to go up to Sheffield for the meet. So
yeah, tricky.
You've got to work all that out as well.
Yeah. It's not all standing on the poolside with a stopwatch.
No, there's a lot of organisational stuff to do.
And we're now on the final event of this evening's swimming. There's some really good races this evening, and this is the women's 200 metres freestyle. In this junior final, we've got Charlotte Room Dervencio in 1, Mary Mishenko, University of Aberdeen Performance in 2, Maria Romanovskaya, Repton in 3, Angelina Ruhlmann, Netherlands in 4, in 5, Shia Gula and Israel junior team in 6, Laurie Devine, Repton, Susie McNair, Sterling Swimming in 7, and Catherine Renfrew, Perth City in 8. So who's out first? It is Angelina Ruhlmann, the Netherlands swimmer. 2:05 coming in, 2:04, sorry, into this final, junior final. Came into the meet on a 2:03, so not far off for her entry time to the meet here for the lane. Netherlands 16-year-old in lane 4. On her outside, Shian Gullen, Israel, and Maria Romanovskaya in 3 from Repton. But it's the two swimmers in 4 and 5, Angelina Ruhlmann and Shian Gullen. Laurie Devine just behind them, 60-69.
Laurie, just to update on Laurie Devine, she swims at Repton School, but her parents are both Scottish as well, so she's another swimmer who's now in contention for junior selections under the GB and Scotland hat now, so it's already quite a good swimmer, and going well in this race here, actually challenging these other three.
It's really nothing between them, really, only 0.3 across the first 4, 0.4 all to play for in this final 50. Lanes 3 and 4 maybe, that's Maria Romanovskaya and Angelina Ruhlmann, and it's lane 3, Maria Romanovskaya from Repton, who looks like she's got this one as she comes with 10 metres to go. Shian Gullen in 5 as well. But I think it's going to be Maria Romanovskaya who's just going to edge this one in a 2:04.63 it is. 400ths ahead of Shian Gulland, 2:04.67. And third, I think it was Angelina Rollman, 2:04.89 with Laurie Devine there.
Yeah, strong finish from Romanovskaya, Goland and Rollman. They came back well on that last 50 to go with the 2:04s. And I noticed Rollman was 2:04 already this morning, so but Romanovskaya dropped from a 7 to a 4, so
good swimming.
That Repton swimmer probably pretty happy.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. Seen quite a few Repton swimmers here this weekend, peppering the junior finals in particular, as you'd expect, in the school setup. And we're now moving on to penultimate race of the evening. And in lane 1, Valentine Leclerc from League Auvergne in 2, Candice Hall, City of Sheffield in 3, Katie DeLoof, American swimmer from Loughborough University in 4, Inho Campadal Amescua from Spain, Silke Hulkenberg, Netherlands in 5, Victoria Catterson, Ireland in 6, Camelia Palmer from Oberoster, Austrian team in 7, and Alba Herrero Lazaro, Spanish swimmer, in lane 8. So
international lineup in this one for
certainly
sure.
Do.
Katie DeLoof swimming for Loughborough. She's actually an American, one of the really top American swimmers.
Yeah. Surprised she's in this B final.
A little bit, because she's got the speed on 100 to do a good 200. So I don't know if what she thought of her heat swim at 2:02, but maybe she's a little disappointed to miss out on the A final.
Well, she's certainly going for it in this B final. She turns first at the 50, 27.94. Lane 5, Silke Hulkenberg, Netherlands swimmer, trying to go with her as well. Inha Campadal Amescua in 4, trying to go with him. She was the fastest qualifier from this morning's swimming. She did very close, second over her best in that heat swim. But it's now Silke Hulkenberg, the Netherlands swimmer, gold medalist in that Netherlands team who won the European Championships last year. 1:58.7 for her.
Yeah, going out 58.2 is a really strong swim. She could, you'd expect someone to break 2 minutes going out on that in the female swimming. You want to hit a 30 point on this 50, and again hold another 30 point down the last.
See what that 50 is here. 31.2.
31.2 just
so
over.
She's got to go 30 point in this final 50. Doable. Tough a gig, but doable. Candice not far behind us. So Candice Hall's really come through. City of Sheffield swimmer. And it's now Candice versus Silke Hulkenberg. And Hulkenberg does look like she's going to hold on, but she's getting pushed by Candice. Coming back a little bit in lane 6 is Victoria Catterson. But I think it's going to be Silke Hulkenberg who's going to hold on just over the 2 minutes, 2:00.87. Candice Hall, 2:01.44. Both of those swimmers improving on their morning swim reasonably considerably. Victoria Catterson getting in third, 2:01.71. So final of this evening. This is the Open Women's 200 meters freestyle. This is one of the ones you were looking forward to at the beginning here, Ian, so saving one of the best to the end.
Another international affair, another American in here, Paige Madden.
And here we go. Jana van Kooten in lane 1 from the Netherlands. Presenting Loughborough, as you were just mentioning there, American Paige Madden in 2. Signe Boro from Denmark in 3. In 4, University of Bath, Freya Anderson, joint holder of the Edinburgh International meet record in this event. Lucy Hope, lane 5, Stirling University swimmer. Just coming out across your screen, Abby Wood, Loughborough University in 6. Maya Sleven, Loughborough University in 7. And in lane 8 we have from University of Bath, Jemima Hall. It's your lineup there: Jana van Kooten, Paige Madden, Signe Bro, Freya Anderson, Lucy Hope, Abby Wood, Mia Sleven and Jemima Hall. Any predictions on this one, Ian?
Hard to say. I mean, you know, you'd really say Freya Anderson is the favourite. Sometimes you don't always get the swim from Freya that you expect. Signe Bro looks in good form. I think she swam well yesterday.
Yep.
Swam well this morning. Madden is a class act. Lucy Hope's she is the leading Scottish 200 freestyler.
Yep.
She's capable of a 157, so she'll have been pretty happy with her heat swim. And Abby Wood has been 156.
Yeah, so any one of 5 really, isn't it?
You know, so and Mia Sleven is no slouch either. She's I think this is her primary event, so all to race for. But you'd always say Freya is still the favourite here.
Yeah, she had missed out on medals in this event at the Commonwealth Games and the World Championships last year, but then got her silver in the Europeans. So see how this race evolves. It is Freya going out strong. She is the meet record holder, as I said. Jazz Carlin and her hold that jointly for 158.04. It's Freya and Jana Van Kooten in lane 1, pushing her hard. Lane 6 as well. Abby Wood, who you mentioned, 157 in the last year or two for her. Still anyone's really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just kind of pacing off each other. Lucy was fairly comfortable down the first 50, but she's now hung on and right in the mix in the middle of the first 4, across the middle 4 lanes there. So anyone's at the moment, those 4.
This is not much between them, 0.3 between the first 5 swimmers really, and they're still together. Lane 6, Abby Wood coming through, Freya still there, but it's close. Across 6 swimmers really. Maybe now lane 6 coming through, Abby Wood, but Freya really can't count her out, can you? Still Freya.
Yeah, it's Freya generally always finishes very strong.
So here we come, 25 to go. Legs are pumping from Freya Anderson and Abby Wood. Freya's in the lead, but Abby and coming through in lane 5 is Lucy Hope as well. But Freya looks like she's getting her head down. With 5 to go, Abby Wood and Freya Anderson. Who's going to touch this out? Is it Freya? Oh, it's Freya Anderson, 158.65, just edging out Lucy Hope in 3rd with 158.67, 2 100s there. Freya Anderson beating Abby Wood with Lucy Hope only 900s behind him. That was the race you predicted there, Ian. That was pretty good, Enders.
Yeah.
Looking happy, Freya, smiling at the camera there.
The split, the last, but Lucy actually, I think Lucy actually had the fastest last 50, but
just left it too late.
It was so tight. I thought Abby had got it, but then Freya somehow got her fingernails on the
long arms
on the wall.
6'1" length arms, just getting the wall. So there we go. That was the final race this evening. So that's the swimming over today. Good bunch of swimming this evening, Ian. Thank you very much for your company.
No problem. Thank you.
Great to hear some of the insights there and top tips. So we'll call it a day for the swimming this evening. You can see there on the screen. Back tomorrow morning, session 7. Heats coverage begins at 8:25. Racing starts at 8:30. This is the final day tomorrow. Not 2022 as on the screen. 2023 Edinburgh International Meet. We'll say good evening from myself, Tony Rose, and Ian Wright. Have a good evening, and we'll see you in the morning.